How are we all? I'm very well. I thank you for asking. Welcome in, one and all. Apologies I was not here yesterday. I was doing stuff and that. You know, they don't even go to this school. You don't know them. They live in Canada. But how are you, everybody? Are you well? I hope so. Kev, am I fixing the foundations? I'm all about fixing the foundations. With key steps and pledges and pathways to glory and success and being the change, and that is the change that I'm wanting to change. And releasing sausages, obviously. Naturally. Yes, howdy. We have got a packed show for you today, and I mean that literally, because we've got loads of stuff to watch. We're going to do the thing that I said I was going to do like a week ago, but then didn't do, because I'm shit at my job, which is this, sort of. Yeah. Which is the bowler hat man video about Labour being shite, as the thing, the meme says. Yes. So we'll get onto that in just a second. We've also got a weird bit of, it's kind of slop because it involves Alan Dershowitz, noted friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Alan Dershowitz, but it's also about a serious topic, and Mehdi Hasan's there, so it's cool. Also, PMQs. So we've got loads of shit to do. We've got loads of things to look at and to drink in. To drink in. I mean, I could talk about the 4 MPs that Labour have gotten rid of the whip from, removed the whip from. So that's they're gradually whittling down their majority by getting rid of anyone who doesn't want to vote for the absolute evisceration of the poorest in society. Again, the meme on screen has never been more perfect. Labour are fucking shite. But there you go. But I'm not going to talk about that, even though I did just talk about it. So I've talked about it to say that I'm not talking about it, which is itself talking about it. Thus self-defeating. I'm very much a philosophical quandary wrapped in a fat man's body. I got recommended a Bowler Hat Man video this morning from just hours ago. Well, that is not my condolences on that, I suppose. Yes. Anyway. We'll get on to stuff in a second. Right. If, dear viewers, you wanted to help me out, because I've missed a couple of days recently, and things are going to be tight, I think. If you wanted to help me out financially, I would be very, very grateful. I mean, up until the point of doing crimes on your behalf, as I have variously promised to do on my channel, and will definitely do. I'm sure I won't. Anyway. In the form of bits and subs and messages and super chats and all of that shit. Yeah, I'll start that out. I'll do that properly. You can, if you're on YouTube.tv, no. I'll tell you what it is. It's because I haven't got my man bun on. That's what it is. It's. I need my man bun. Boom. There we go. Man bun equals professionalism. Yeah. If you're on twitch.tv/KFLogan1875, man bun.
Oiled like a baby otter.
You can hit the follow button. You can subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can give subs to the community. You can... fucking hell, what else can you do? The man bun isn't helping me. The man bun has not done its work, frankly. So I'm just going to stop. Oh, God, look at that. I went all Marley and a Dietrich for a second. Oof. I've got the tits for it. Anyway, yes, yeah, you can, fuck's sake, you can subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can give subs to the community. You can do bits messages. 200 bits or more gets you a text-to-speech. You can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. $2 or more there gets you a text-to-speech. You can help me out on Patreon and PayPal. I've got a YouTube, Discord, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, all of that shite, some of which I occasionally use. Do you have a menu of available crimes, Kev? No. But nice try, officer. Yeah, I'm onto you, Tess. I fucking see you. Or should I call you Police Constable Tess, if that even is your real name? Ugh. Anyway, thank you, Katie Marshall, for 11 months on the YouTubes. Much love to you. Don't forget, everyone, go and follow Katie Marshall. I can't. It's not No Justice MTG. That's a different person. Mad Cat Scotty Eye on Twitch.
Stop it.
Do those.
Get
things.
some help.
I am having a fucking mare today. I'm telling you. Right. There was one little story I did just want to bring up because it's about a serious thing, but there's a funny element to this story, right? So, one of the big stories in the UK at the moment is based upon a thing that happened 3 years ago, right? The British government, being fucking shite, released the data of hundreds of Afghans who had sought asylum in the UK because of reprisal and revenge attacks by the Taliban. So when Britain invaded and occupied and didn't really help out very much in Afghanistan, and that's a very, very polite way of saying did a cheeky bit of imperialism, as one does. Because, we tried it before and it worked really well going into Afghanistan 150 years ago. Pricks. Anyway. Lots of Afghans helped the British armed forces out. Saved a lot of British lives and probably a lot of British taxpayers' money. And for their role, the Taliban might have wanted to have a nice little word with them and maybe murder them and their families. So, the British government, rather begrudgingly, allowed a system where one could apply in secret to the British consulate in Kabul. Although I think they had one in Kandahar as well. I'm not sure. Anyway, and you could potentially get to Britain and be safe, or at least safer. The problem is that the British government are shit, and that data got released to potentially people who know the Taliban. Anyway, and so those people were evacuated pretty much en masse, around about 2,500. Which is a significant number of people, and the British public were not told about this. And this is something of a scandal. Although not a scandal for the sitting government particularly, because they didn't really do anything, it would appear. Or at least didn't do anything bad involved in this. But naturally, because this involves people of colour coming into the country, potentially permanently, the Conservatives have had a lot to say. You may remember a person called Elizabeth Truss, she who finished second place in a contest of longevity to a lettuce. That did happen. She was also very briefly Prime Minister, apparently. Anyway, she had something to say about this. She says, "I am shocked by the secrecy and cover-up over the admission of thousands of Afghans to Britain at the cost of £7 billion to the taxpayer. A decision that was in itself wrong. It is a huge betrayal of public trust. Those responsible in both governments and the bureaucracy need to be held to account." Strong words. Strong words. You'll see there she says it's wrong and that it's a betrayal of public trust. One small problem for Liz is that when this happened, she was literally the Foreign Secretary. The person literally in charge of all of this. The thing that was wrong and a betrayal of public trust. She literally did that. It was her. She might actually be the most dishonest, stupid, low quality, and I mean that in a very moral sense as well as anything, politician in the history of the world. I mean, she is literally now going around the world basically saying Britain's shit to everybody And apparently now dressing up as a hot dog, saying, we're trying to find out the guys who did this. So, you know. Cool. Thanks, Liz. Thanks. You really were the worst politician ever. The worst government minister ever. The worst prime minister ever. The worst foreign secretary possibly ever. How'd you manage to be the worst prime minister ever and you're only there a month?
Someone drove.
What in the fuck is... What the bollocks is this? Someone drove
A hot dog-shaped
a hot
car
dog
through
shaped
the
car
window.
Driver's
through a window. Well, there you go. Okay. Thank you, Lord Fritos. Much love to you. And thank you, Scribby, for resubscribing. 39 months, my friend. Much love. We meet again, old friend. This is Bowler Hat Man. You may remember Bowler Hat Man from such films as It's Not an Issue, Bro. Honest. He's put out a video called Is Labour Just the Tories in a Red Tie? Let's set that rubbish on fire. Fire emoji. And I thought, this is very much in the Logan wheelhouse. I do need to take a look at this because the question, unlike usually online, because usually when you see a question in the title of a video, it's usually no. So it's like, is Donald Trump the best president ever? Question mark. No. Is Liz Truss good at anything she's ever done? Question mark. No. Is Kev ever really going to go on a diet? No. Whereas this is the Labour just the Tories in a red tie? The answer is yes. The answer is actually yes. That is what they are. You're watching cricket. Now this is going to be a joke about the insect, isn't it? Kieran, you're going to do a joke about the insect. Oh no, you actually are watching cricket. Oh wow, okay. Is that you're actually at Lord's? Are you watching me at Lord's? What the fuck? Apparently, Kieran is actually at the home of cricket. That being Lord's in North London.
I don't want to do this anymore.
That's meant you're watching me at Lord's. See, now I feel like I can say I've played at Lord's. Now, I haven't played cricket at Lord's, and I haven't, been to Lord's. But I have played there. So... No, it's not a one-day international. It appears to be, from the scoreboard over there, Middlesex versus Surrey. So it's a local derby, nonetheless. In, presumably, the 20-over tournament, I think. Yeah, T20 Surrey versus Middlesex, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, no, I've played Lord's. As in, someone watched me saying things at Lord's. Our anal sex correspondent is at Lord's. That is true. Well, that's good because you know, as regularly as seen, the long room at Lord's is full of arseholes. So he's probably in the right place, really. Yeah, get me on the big screen. I'm sure there's some technological jiggery pokery. You could get me on the big screen at Lord's. That'd be amazing. That's actually fucking Lord's. That's actually really cool. Well, enjoy the game. And tell that dude to stop wearing his glasses like that. It's silly. Anyway. Enough. We're watching things. Who do I follow in cricket? Well, I'm from Birmingham, which is the place where Edgbaston is. And so I follow Warwickshire. Although technically Birmingham stopped being a part of Warwickshire in the 1970s. When they created the West Midlands. As a unitary county council area county thing. I've got to take a tablet. Oh. I get gassy. So I'm going to take a tablet and tap. And I'm going to do it live on stream, so fuck you. You can't stop me. I have arrived from turn left. Oh, cool. How was it? Hopefully Curtis, or whoever was hosting, was on good form. I didn't myself get to see it. I think I never saw even 1 full minute of cricket gameplay. Well, we will change that for you. Because you know what we can do? Because they put the games on YouTube now for free. So let's see if Middlesex TV are playing the game live. They are!
He's looking for that angle. One stump's hit and one stump is struck. And
Did we just see a run out straight away?
For it. Overthrow, well, buzzers. They'll get back for the second, but they'll have a look at this, I'm sure.
That would be amazing if we turned on and we saw a run out literally straight away. This is just, I'm doing this for Brad Fetton.
Too concerned in terms of this.
Because they said they've never seen a minute's action of cricket, and I want that to change. I want to break their cricket virginity live on stream. Also, again with the South Africans and their stupid names. Deploy. D-U-P-L-O-O-Y. Deploy. What the fuck is that? That's not a name. That's someone taking the piss at Scrabble. Is what that is.
Two batters having a natter in the middle.
Also, Chris Jordan bowling. Former England international Chris Jordan. From a long time ago, admittedly, but there you go.
Goes up first time.
Why is cricket so slow? Because it's supposed to be. It's fucking awesome. Umpire review. You're not. Come on now, chaps.
Drama before when out went up, only to be replaced by a not out very quickly afterwards. The umpire's decision.
You can sell me everything for cricket. How do I know this is actual cricket? Because it literally is. They're playing cricket. This is what cricket is. This is literally. This is literally what Kieran is watching. He's at this game right now.
Let's get a hurry on, but there's no dive.
How far behind the actual events there is my stream watching this? Kieran, if you're still there. I don't know if you are still there.
Will be a big call either way.
Well, I know you're there, but are you still here? Are you in the stream with us?
Partnership of 39.
This is a fucking long-ass review. What the fuck are they doing? It's a run-out. Out. Oh, you're saying out.
Floyd has 29.
Yeah, Kieran, do something mental in the crowd so you get on camera. Although we don't know what you look like, so that won't help.
There's the on-field umpire just giving him out. There he goes on the big screen now.
We did! We saw a run-out! What? What are the odds? What are the fucking odds? What the fuck are the odds that you would turn on a cricket game and see a run-out straight away? The first thing that Brad Fetton ever saw in cricket was a fucking run-out.
Brilliant 29 from 17 for deploy. 6-1, 14 for 3.
That's mental. Run-outs are reasonably rare, although this is shortened format, so they do. They do happen a bit more often, but they're you know, they don't happen in every game. And you just saw one.
Took his eye off of himself to deploy. I think he thought he was home.
Mad. Also, what is a run-out? It's, oh god, it's where they're running between the wickets and they don't make their ground before the ball hits the stumps. So, like, if for Americans, it's like being thrown out in baseball.
Lose their fourth wicket. What can Higgins do? 76.
Look, if an outfielder throws to the home plate and he gets cut off, it's similar to that, except way less regular than that. That happens a lot more often than a run-out will. Oh! Beautiful delivery.
Stop it. Get some help.
Wouldn't be a London derby without a bit of drama.
True.
Always plenty of excitement.
We'll watch to the end of this over, and then we'll, yeah. Run-outs sounds like a symptom of IBS. True.
First ball since the run out.
Don't ruin things, Kieran.
Oh, and he's run it straight to the short third. Patel takes the catch.
We've seen 2 wickets. Amazing.
He trying to steer it flying to the fielder. He got too much on it.
So which side is Mehdi Hasan? To be fair, Mehdi Hasan does sound like a kind of a really average leg spinner from Pakistan. Like he makes the rounds on the 2020 circuit, but he's not. He could never make it into the national side. You know, it sounds like he does have that name. That just sounds that way. You did spoil that, Kieran. Thank you. Have I ever told you that my brother plays cricket semi-professionally? Oh, cool. Like, you know how most small clubs have a few players they pay to be there. My brother does that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can play. Oh. I don't think anyone wants to do this anymore, which is why I'll turn it off. Okay, enough cricket. Although I would like to do a cricket watch-along. Because, look, if they put it on YouTube, then surely it's fair game, because I'm giving criticism and analysis. So I think that's fair on copyright. I think I'm okay. Anyway. Yeah, semi-professional cricketers. There's a couple down at the local-ish cricket club here, down the road. They usually have like a ringer who's like a 16-year-old from Jamaica who can bowl fast, right? Some kid who's just come over, literally like has arrived that week, and he'll play half a dozen games. He gets paid, and there's like an Englishman who played minor counties cricket or something, and then maybe someone who played like one first-class game, but has but dropped out of professional cricket, and they get paid, but it's like a part-time thing, you know. Would you like to do a cricket watch-along as part of the official England cricket team sometime? That would be amazing. Would I like to be paid to watch cricket? Yes, I fucking would. That would be amazing. Yes. Can we do that, please? That would be fucking heaven. But obviously, I won't be able to do that. Because that's like, there are genuine professionals who know what they're talking about and stuff. Like people who've played the game professionally who talk about these things and commentate. So why the fuck would they pay a fat prick like me, whose greatest cricketing achievement was being part of the Solihull Under-16s cricket champions? St Peter's Roman Catholic, I'll have you know. That was my school team. We won that tournament at Nolan Dorwich Cricket Club, for anyone who knows the area. Thank you, Plexicon, for 49 months of Prime subscription. Oh, Scribby was a Prime subscription. I've got 2 Primes tonight. Lovely. Lovely work. Thank you very much. We had noises as well. What noise happened? Thank you, Katie, who says, Kev, who do you want to win? In terms of Middlesex and Surrey, nobody. I couldn't give a fuck. In all honesty, I'm not from the area. Who do you support, Kieran? Are you a Middlesex boy? Or are you a Surrey chap? I don't know. Go sports ball indeed. Anyway, fuck me. Right, so the thing that I said I was going to do a week ago and then said I was going to do 20 minutes ago, I will now do, right? The Labour Party are just red Tory pricks, and I presume these motherfuckers are not going to... this guy's going to have a different opinion on that, I assume. Yeah. If we could fucking hear it. Okay, I'm going to start this bit again. Because I might put this up online, right? So I'll get the nonsense out of the way. Rapid Vienna, yeah, that's a football team. That's not even a cricket team. Although, interestingly, AC Milan were set up originally as a cricket team. Did you know that? The very, very famous Italian football club, AC Milan, was set up as a cricket team. By Englishmen. Which is why it's called AC Milan and not AC Milano, which is the name of the city in Italian. Because even when we go abroad and set up footballing institutions, we still call it the way we want to. We still go, no, I could call this... I know the people of this place call it Milano, but I'm going to call this club AC Milan, and there's nothing you can do about it, you little pricks. There is a St George's cross on their badge for that exact reason. Although, interestingly, not the case for Barcelona, who also have a St George's flag on their crest. But that's because St George is also the patron saint of Catalonia, the region in which Barcelona resides, and has nothing to do with being founded by Englishmen, which it wasn't. Huzzah! I'm curious, what's your opinions on AI? I think AI is a cancerous scourge upon humanity and needs to die instantly. Right. Okay, we've answered enough nonsense from the chat now. Actually, did we find... Well, before we get there, did we find out who Kieran supports? I just came to watch. Stepdad is a sorry supporter. Oh, okay. So you're in an away game, technically. Albeit an away game that's like 7 miles down the road or something. If that is it even that far? I don't know. Anyway. Bowler Hat Man. You may remember. Fuck's sake. Right. You may remember Bowler Hat Man. I debated him before last year's election about the Labour Party and why I thought they were a bit poo and didn't want to vote for them. Because they're blue Tories. No, they're not. They're red Tories. What am I talking about? They're Tories in red ties, to quote the question. The titular question of this video. My opinion is that the Labour Party are just that. They're just Tories with red rosettes. And little better. I suspect that Bowler Hat Man, being very much a Labour loyalist, might have a different opinion on this. Shall we take a look?
So, here we are once again. Yes, I think this is something I've wanted to do for quite a while. Obviously, you know, it's sort of been a year, really, since Labour got in. And, you know...
True.
I am, as they say, still a card-carrying member.
Pray tell, why?
What do I, you know, honest thoughts, cards on the table? They generally haven't done that bad. Like...
Okay. Interesting. If that is indeed the case, dear friend, why is it that every single poll has them behind reform and getting fucking wiped out on a national scale? Well, not wiped out, but reduced to potentially double figures of MPs rather than the 400 they currently have. Why can I not find any of the national polling on this page when I wanted it? Oh. Look at that, 5 points behind reform, 2 points behind there. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Did I bookmark anything? I must have done, because the shaking off the fleas, as it were, from the Labour Party has been going super well. Give me polling. Here we go. So here are the reasons why people have switched away from Labour. Lots of reasons. There are lots of reasons there. And then oh, that's not good. Current polling suggests the Reform Party are online for a majority, and the Labour Party are going to lose nearly 300 seats. So when you say they've not done too bad, the British people disagree very strongly. The personal approval rating of Keir Starmer is about that of getting a tick burrowed into your foreskin. I think is about as popular as Keir Starmer at this point. But what do I know?
Honestly, they generally have not done that bad. I know there's already some people screaming and on their keyboards just at that, me saying that very thing. But
because it's wrong. You realise that you're going to have that reaction from people because you are incorrect. Your analysis is bollocks. They have done very badly. Their communications has been appalling, but even if their communications had been good, their policies are unpopular. Their policies are incredibly unpopular. They are trying to target a demographic of people Reform voters who they cannot win, whilst alienating every single vaguely progressive, and indeed most liberals, it would appear. They're torching votes from their base to chase 3 people in Surrey. What a joke. What a joke. Hello there, Mixed Vivian Wolf. Everyone go and follow Mixed Vivian Wolf, who is cool and awesome, and we had a nice conversation the other night, and I appreciated that.
Generally, they just have not done that bad. Not as bad as people have made it out to be. Have they done some things that I disagree with? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have said this since the very beginning, even before they came in. There's no such thing ever as a perfect government. You are never, ever going to get a government.
Okay, but can we have a slightly not shit government? Like, I'm not even asking for a good government. Just not an absolute annihilation of a government. Can we just have something which, like, keeps us at the same level of shit and not make things significantly worse every time? If the Labour Party can't even offer me a steady level of shit, if they're just offering me things getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, why would anyone vote for that? They've not learned anything in their year in government, have they?
That does like 100% exactly of what you do, of what you want it to do. It's just
I don't think the Labour Party have done like 5% of what I want them to do. They've done like 1 or 2 vaguely decent things. And I mean literally 1 or 2 vaguely decent things. That's it. That's the best I can give them. And no one's fucking impressed with this. No one's remotely, like, moved by this. No one's voting for you on this basis. And you haven't got any policies that are going to turn this around. This is awful.
Impossible. So, what have they done? And I think one of the things I'm very...
Genocide? They've done genocide. Cool.
Very interesting. I think why I want to cover this is that there's now a lot of myths that have sprung up about like Labour's first year in power, and I think it's time to do a little bit of myth busting.
Yay! We love myth busting here. 22 billion pound. If he mentions 22 billion pound hole, I'm gonna actually lose my mind.
If you follow a guy called what's his name, Sebastian Salek on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Threads, he's constantly every week going, guys, there's all this happened this week that no one's talking about from the media.
Who did he say? Hang on.
Week going,
hang on.
guys, Threads, he's, what's his name, Sebastian Salek on...
Sebastian Selleck? Sebastian... Well, the Sebastian Slick, I don't think that's the person I'm looking for, is it? Oh, hang on. Well, if I put 2 L's and 1 I, maybe that might work. No, I don't know. I don't know who he's talking about. Because I want to check out that guy and be like, oh, that's interesting. But I don't know who it is. So if anyone knows who he's talking about, Salek. Okay, well, we'll try Sebastian Salek. Oh, here we go. Right. Sebastian Salek. I write threads explaining how Labour is fixing Britain. Councillor and ex-politician journalist. Okay. The Telegraph is no longer a newspaper, it's a Labour attack unit. Well, it literally was called the Tory Graph. What the fuck did you expect? Experts are warning the economy is about to implode. Well, that's what GB News wants you to think. It's a masterclass in cherry-picking and scaremongering. Okay. Again, I will just say what I need, and this is literally I'm asking the same question of Sebastian Salek as I did to Bowler Hatman during the debate we had before last year's election, so about 14 months ago or whatever now, or 13 months, whatever, something like that. You can't just say this is what the Tories are doing isn't that bad, or you can't just say here's why the Telegraph are wrong, or here's why GB News is wrong, or here's why blah blah blah. Right? Tell me what Labour are doing, or in the case of last year, are going to do. Don't tell me the Tories are shit. I know that. You don't really need to point that out to me. You tell me what Labour are positively doing to improve my life, please. And so far, it's just like the Daily Mail. Having a go at the Daily Mail, which again is fine. There we go. Labour racked up wins this week. Lots of new initiatives. 7 announcements you might have missed. Okay. Letting local people save communities. A new community right to buy gives residents the chance to take over pubs, cafes and sports centres before developers can buy them. A great example of cooperative parties' ideas taking the fight to reform. Okay. I mean, you need to give me something there. Like, is it in a piece of legislation? What exactly are the details here? Because you're giving me, like, you're saying this is happening, but in what way? What's the proof that this is even happening? Like, we want it to say, here's the agency, the thing that you're frustrated about, whether it's a loss or beloved asset, whether it's a fact, everything, and change it. Okay. But also, when you say a community right to buy, where's the money from the community coming from to buy these things? Because having a right to do something is not the same as being able to actually do it. Because, like, in theory, both I and Rupert Murdoch have the right of a free press. That is absolutely true. One small difference is that he owns all of the media and can set exactly what the media say, and I own nothing. So technically we have the same rights. In terms of accessing those rights, not really a level playing field, is it? 2, more so that's literally it. Like, there's not, he doesn't even go into any detail there. Brilliant. 2, more safe children's homes. Labour is investing £53 million to create 200 council-run places for vulnerable young people. Okay. Councils currently spend about £440 million a year on private placements. So is that £53 million more on top of budgets, or are they cutting the £440 million to create the £53 million? Again, you're not giving me any details here on which to judge this. Is this seriously the guy you're like praying in aid of? Because, like, this sounds nice, but it's nothing. What's the detail here? The devil is in the detail. And you're giving me, like, nice sounding single sentence snap, little sound bites. Okay, 3. Ending NDAs that silence abuse. Labour is banning the use of NDAs to cover up workplace misconduct. Workers will also get the legal right to bereavement leave after a miscarriage. Okay, that's good, if that's actually true. Again, is it in a piece of legislation? If not really worth anything, but we'll see. £7.5 billion of Japanese investment. Sumitomo Corporation. Wasn't that the one where Die Hard happened? Oh no, that was Nakatomi Plaza. Sorry. Sumitomo Corporation will put the money into infrastructure and clean energy projects. It follows a Deloitte survey naming the UK as a top investment destination. Okay, but look, top investment destination means low tax, low red tape, which means danger and corruption and financial crash awaits. Also, why can't we? Why aren't we putting government money into this? Why do we have to rely on Japanese private business to do this? This is shit. You're giving me Tory policy here. A family hub for every English council area. Labour is investing £500 million to open up 1,000 new family hubs in 2028. They'll offer help with breastfeeding, housing and early child development. Okay. If that's true, cool. 50 major road and rail upgrades. Labour is investing £92 billion in Britain's transport system. See, 92 billion is the kind of money you do need to put in to make any difference to anything. All of this like, oh, 40 million here and 200 million. That's no. Billions is what you need. The improvement works will cut train journey time, support over 39,000 new homes and create 42,000 jobs. Cool. Easier access to social housing for vulnerable people. Young people leaving care and survivors of domestic abuse no longer need a local connection to qualify for social housing. The change took effect this week. Again, we'll wait and see how that works out. Okay, so like that's... I mean, fine if the detail is any good. Which again, he doesn't give you any detail. Sorry, it says England, not Britain. Apologies. Yeah. Anyway, so like, that was not really worth it.
On Twitter.
If I do put this on YouTube, I might cut that bit because it just wasn't worth anything. Like, I was expecting some juice there, some meat on the bone, and he gave me nothing. He gave me a soft dicking, and that's not. No one wants that.
On Blue Sky, on Threads, he's constantly every week going, guys, there's all this happened this week that no one's talking about, from the media to anyone else, but these are actually quite good. These are actually going to have some really positive effects. Like I say, go follow him on Twitter and Blue Sky, etc. You know, the guy...
But the problem is, you can put together nice things, you know, but when you do awful shit as well, people tend to remember the awful shit. Yeah, it's like you can invest 200 million quid in family hubs, but if you're also like making disabled people even poorer, people will tend to remember that bit because it's fucking evil.
Keeps on pointing out, hey, Labour's had a win here, Labour's had a win here, Labour's had a win here this week. And
okay, but like, just going by that is a bit echo chambery. Do you not think? Like, you should really take in a plethora of voices in order to get a more accurate... Like, it's the idea of viewing things from different vantage points. If you're only viewing it from one, then you just get that one view. What you need is all of these different views to see the thing completely in 3D. You know.
I think, again, before we get into it, I think the reason why is since 2016, we have had a government that has been not normal in the best sense of the word. It has not been normal. We have not had a government that has actually governed, actually got on with the business of doing stuff. For a basic, pure example, the last sort of term of the previous government only had about 4 bills being read. MPs were complaining of being bored because there was nothing for them to do. Like,
well, they could always do their second and third jobs.
You've had over 100 different bills pass through Parliament. Over 100.
Okay, but like, are you literally doing the quantity over quality argument? Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think those 4 pieces of legislation the Tories had were any good. But like, considering one of those bills, those much vaunted 100 bills, was that awful piece of disabilities shit that they passed, which was like just an absolute fucking cavalcade of shittery. U-turns upon U-turns to the point where it wasn't even worth passing it anymore. It was so chopped up. It was like a fucking slice of Swiss cheese. It had so many fucking holes in it. This is bollocks, mate. Just saying, we've passed 100 bills. Okay, well, I've passed 104 bills. It's like the Alan Partridge bit. I've got 104 friends. It's silly.
That is like how it normally should be. And I think people have gotten used to the chaos, the unnormal state that we've had. And when it goes a bit normal, people get a bit jittery. Like, why aren't you acting like that? Why aren't you doing that?
What are you talking about? No, the reason that people don't like them is because they can see a continuation of the not normal, to use your phrase, governance.
Saw this during the PIP stuff. The paper was like, "Oh my God, U-turn! The government is about to collapse," and collapsed. It collapsed, yeah.
No, but it has got rid of another 4 MPs, and its polling numbers are collapsing. I mean, it's not going to collapse because those MPs that remain with the whip know that if they go to a general election now, they're all out of a fucking job. So they want to stay on the gravy train as long as they can. And most of them will be the next stop in 2028. No, 2029. He's not going to go for an early election, I wouldn't have thought.
So, let's get on into this, because I think this is very, very, very worth much so covering on this point. So, before we do get on into this, please do remember to click on the, of course, like, share, and of course, subscribe button. Of course, don't forget to ring the bell as well. So, as always, thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel that way. And of course, down below, there is links to the Patreon page, the YouTube thank you button, there's the Buy Me Coffee link, and of course, there's YouTube membership button down below as well.
Give me money instead. Don't give this man money. Give me money. I need it more. I am poor, but I am free.
Well, so let's crack on then into this as we cover this. So this is what we're going to be covering. So this is Labour's first year. Three Mythbusters.
Jesus Christ, you're literally going to Labour list to debunk. So you're just going to go straight to the propaganda source. Brilliant. Oh, this is going to be good.
Use on the doorstep. So, it has been a year since Labour took office and a lot has changed. And as members, we see that progress clearly. By explaining it to voters is, of course, much harder. When someone pushes back, of course, on Labour's record, it is very...
Why is it hard to explain? Is it because they're really bad at communicating anything? Is it because they're idiots? Is it because they're idiots who can't explain how awesome they are?
Very easy to give a muddled answer if you are not prepared. That is a missed opportunity, whether you are on the doorstep, sparring on Twitter, or even debating in the pub. Because if handled right, there is a chance now to turn a very skeptic into a supporter. The good news is, Labour's first year tells an incredibly compelling story. You just need the right language to land it. Fortunately, there is a clear framework you can actually use to do that confidently. So here's a cheat sheet for you for handling now the 3 biggest challenges voters throw at Labour's first year. So, what are the big ones?
Lord Freeters donated $5. But are you free Friday for a pint?
Not Friday, because I'll be on with Krista. Actually, after Krista, yeah, probably. I mean, you're in France, though, so that doesn't really make sense. But if you have a pint where you are and I have a pint where I am, technically we will have had a pint together in spirit. I will not be drinking a pint of spirits, though. That would be insane.
They're doing. So, the big one is Labour has no narrative. And of course, that theme, of course, ties to Keir Starmer's agenda together very neatly. Challenge.
What the fuck are you talking about? Labour has no narrative. You honestly think that one of the core criticisms is you have no narrative? People can't fucking feed their families, mate. What are you talking about? People are about to
Oil like a
potentially
baby
go
otter.
into another winter where they can't fucking warm their house. It's got nothing to do with you having a narrative or not. People couldn't give a fuck about a
Oil like a
narrative.
baby otter.
Thank you, Lewis. Not Lewis. Louise McCafferty. Much love to you. Even if I can't fucking speak tonight, I apologise. What's my go-to point?
Oil like a baby otter.
I tell you what, I'm like an old man in many respects. I like a pint of stout. I genuinely do like a pint of stout. Because apparently I'm a 53-year-old from Yorkshire.
Oil like a baby otter.
Or a pint of Guinness. But Guinness is a bit more expensive. And makes your poos go a bit black. Which is weird. It's not the end of the world, it's just a little bit strange.
2, nothing has changed.
Yeah, and Labour's doing fucking genocide as well, yes.
Of course, 3 tangible improvements you can actually already see. And of course, the third one, this is the big one that you see quite a lot, that Labour is just the same as the Tories. And here 3 examples.
Well, stout or bitter. I'm happy either way. There are various locally brewed bitters. Or should I say, there are brands that used to be brewed here that are probably now brewed in, like, Belgium or fucking Spain or something, because it's cheaper. That used to be local businesses that brewed here. Mitchell and Butler and things like that. A pint of mild, and all of that sort of stuff. How about Beamish? I like a Beamish. Yeah. A Caffrey's. A lovely Irish Caffrey's. We've got a really creamy kind of bitter. Beautiful. Yeah, Murphy's. Very similar. Yeah. See, now I want a pint of bitter. Now I want a pint of bitter and some pork scratchings. Oh. Take me to the beer garden. It's where I belong. It's my natural habitat.
Examples that prove the gap between them could not be wider. So, here's the first one. The first one, Labour has no narrative. So, many of course claim that Labour has no story. They say it of course lacks a theme that binds its agenda, which makes every move feel very rash and reactive. That could not be more wrong. There is a golden thread that runs through Starmer's platform.
Yeah, there is a golden thread. It's golden piss coming out of his cock onto the electorate. That is the golden thread.
Everything his government does,
which suggests he's dehydrated. He needs to drink more water.
Is about security.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Fucking hell! It's been months. How can that still get me every fucking time? I'm not having a heart attack anymore, but it's still like, it still takes me aback. Because it literally sounds like it's coming from over there. It's fucking mental. Thank you, Ratchet, who says, Happy Wednesday, P.S. he still defends Labour, ? Yes, he does. Yes, he does, because, what a fucking bellend. Cockpiss Starmer, exactly.
It is obvious at first, but once you see it, you'll notice it everywhere. Banning, of course, no-fault eviction so that renters can feel secure in their homes. Unfair dismissal rights from day one so that workers can feel secure in their jobs. 300,000 extra neighbourhood police so we can all feel secure in our communities. But it also guides Labour's decision in moments of crisis. For the example, when the 20 billion black hole was discovered, Rachel Reeves held one line on financial discipline to keep Britain economically secure. And
financial discipline. That's the thing that people don't like. Financial discipline. You're such a briefcase, mate. You're such a briefcase. People don't want that. Release the purse strings and spend a fucking bit. The country's been crippled by austerity for fucking 15 years now. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Dr. Fuller says, I have a strong Scottish ale in the fridge called Old Jock, which has unfortunate connotations, but it's lovely all the same. I'd not heard of that one. Is it any good? Tell me all about it. Thank you, Julie XO. I don't know why the noise didn't go off, but thank you for... Well, because you didn't have a message, I suppose. It's just it's a pear rolling on around on the ground. Oh, okay. It's that thing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Julie. XO. Anyway, right, where were we? Not sure who's worse, him or Phil or that Graham wanker. I tell you what, I know the Graham guy you're talking about. He does the live streams of like PMQs and things like that. Is he Scouse, I think, or so? He sounds vaguely Scouse, somewhere in the north of England, anyway. I quite like him in a way. Like, I know he's a Labour dude, but like he's more willing to criticise for a start off, and like he just seems like a nicer man. Not that actually, none of them seem like bad people, like evil or anything. I'm not saying that, but like, he just seems like a kind of guy I would get on with. I think. Graham Hughes, that's him. Yeah, he seems alright, you know. He's wrong about lots of shit, but like, if you're still supporting Liverpool, if you're still supporting Labour, regardless of whether you're from Liverpool or not, you're wrong.
The employment bill has not passed, but more importantly, the ET case is growing again. It's 18 months average for a first hearing now at a tribunal.
Really? Fuck me. Also, are you still at the cricket? That's an amazing thing to have tweeted to me. Not tweeted, like, told me during the cricket. Oh, maybe it's ended. Maybe you're now on the tube home. I don't know. But thank you for Biddy Bits, Kieran. Much love to you, my friend. Oh, we're on a hype train. Sex chocolate everywhere, all over my tits. Anyway, yeah, you can make the hype train continue to go choo-choo, even chewier and chewier. In the foot, no, not chewy as in like, not that guy. That was a terrible Chewbacca. I can't do a Chewbacca. We found that out tonight. Doesn't sound like it either. I can't do it. That's what you get. You can give me money to attempt to sound like false animals, poorly. Bits and subs are the thing you can do to help me in the hype train.
And when the US wavered on Ukraine, Starmer raised defense spending now to strengthen our national security.
Right, but he took that from the fucking the foreign aid budget, making even poorer people than the disabled here in the UK worse off.
One Labour dissenter will be thrown upon the pyre every 10 hours until the nation kneels to his esteemed high grace, God Emperor McSweeney. Praise his name.
I think those words can replace the national anthem. We'll set them to Things Can Only Get Better, and Steve Bray can pump it out 24/7 throughout the land. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
The focus on security makes perfect sense.
Anymore.
I'm gonna die, chat. I'm gonna die. Well, we're all gonna die. We alone as a species are aware of our impending doom. Thank you, Tess, who says R2D2 impression, please. Beep boop. That's where he flies off the thing and makes that noise. I can't. Basically,
The return of the sausages.
Random number. Wear a glove. Give Kevin money. Kitty bomb.
Thank you, Wayward Historian, with 1312 bitties. If we get to whatever the next level is, I don't fucking know. I will finger. I don't even know. Name a fascist, chat. First person to name a dead fascist, and I'll finger them. Go. It might take you 20 seconds for my noise to reach you, but whoever does it and types out first gets to pick. Liz Truss is not dead, and she's not really a fascist. She's just a twat. Salazar. Oh, nice. Okay, we're going Portuguese. Let's go. Okay, I will finger the corpse of. Actually, what was his first name? I was about to say Ernesto Salazar, but I'm not sure that's right. For fuck's sake. Salazar. Antonio Oliveira Salazar. There you go. Piece of shit. Yeah, I will finger the fuck out of his bumhole. His dead bumhole. Queen Elizabeth. Well, too late. But that's only if we get to the next level of the hype train, chat. Otherwise, I will keep my Portuguese dead fingerings to a minimum.
3 key reasons. Firstly, remember what we inherited. The
Terry
Tories left us
Salazar.
with striking
Dave.
drivers,
His name was
a
Dave
all-out
Salazar.
NHS, and a cost of living crisis that strained household budgets. Daily life became increasingly uncertain, so reversing that was crucial. Security, has also had a basic human desire. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this sits above only the basics like food, water, and air. And after 14 years of Tories bookended by a financial crisis, a global pandemic, it was the obvious place to start. Finally, security produces popular policies, workers' rights reform, increased defense spending, banning no-fault evictions, all poll incredibly well, even with non-Labour voters. So, the second one, that nothing has changed under Labour. So, a lot of voters will...
Well, nothing in terms of, like, the direction of the country has fundamentally changed. The managed decline of the nation continues unabated. Unabated. That's the problem there. Now, it's not that they haven't done anything. They've done plenty of stuff. It's just been mostly fucking awful.
Of the sausages.
Does Ryanair still have £5 flights to Lisbon?
I don't know, Wayward Historian. Should we check? Cheap flights to Lisbon. Like I'm actually going to fly there, and like I don't even know where he's buried. He might even be flying in Lisbon or Lisbon. Let's just go on to this one. I agree. But we want to go from Birmingham. We don't want to go from London. I'm not fucking going to London. Unless it's to finger a fascist there, I guess. Yes, Birmingham, United Kingdom. Search flights. Any date. Just any. Literally any date. Today. And then return... when do I want to return? The 4th of August. Fuck it, I don't care. Search flights. Why am I staying there so long? Surely a one-dayer would have done, wouldn't it? We can't find any flights for that search. Suck a dick then. Right. Let's just say we go to fucking... from London. You can get a £38... Presumably that's one way. That's not return, is it? 38 quid is very cheap, though. Nothing beats a jet team holiday. Suck my dick. Save £24 in total. Yeah, with Ryanair, obviously. 34 quid, yeah. If you want to go to London. But that's the thing. It will take you longer and cost more to get from Birmingham to London than it will to get from London to Lisbon on the plane. Okay, let's check that. Right. Trains from Birmingham to London. Well, it's not £6. You can fuck right off. Train line. Here we go. If you book within 7 days. Outbound. One way. Yeah, train and coach. Yeah. Just what's the cost here, people? Come on. £20. No, here we go. So basically, it'll be £105 from Birmingham New Street to Paddington, or £104 or £105 because you're not getting these limited availability ones. That's just not reasonable. So if I want to go, it'll cost me £105 and take about 5 hours or something stupid, right? To get from Birmingham to London, and then take about as long and cost a third of the price to get to Lisbon. The world is insane. That's all I can say. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Wywood, by the way, with Biddy Bits. Thank you, everyone, for the hype Tron. I don't know why I said it like that. That's weird.
Will complain that Labour has done nothing its first year. The secret of responding to this is to listen very carefully for the real objection and handle that instead. Most Brits do not follow day-to-day politics closely. And again, they do not follow politics day-to-day closely. No one can actually tell you, for example, what happened very specifically.
You could take a bus to London, but the thing is that will take even longer. And even if you book a train ticket, you may still have to get a bus because the fucking trains are shite. So you almost certainly have to get a replacement bus service. I did a joke, quite a spicy joke. I think I can basically tell it here as well. We were talking about ways to die in the beer garden the other day when we were watching the cricket. Or was it when we were watching the football? I can't remember. I was drunk. Anyway, about ways to die, and like the usual stuff came up. And I jokingly said that I would unalive oneself. I would play Roblox, so to speak, as a joke, right? And then the joke turned to like, oh, well, how would you do it? And instantly I went, well, I would throw myself in front of a train, except it would have to be a replacement bus service. And I'm not sure the bus would actually kill me, because it wouldn't be going quick enough in all the traffic. Which is a bit, you know, it's a spicy one. It's a spicy one, but when everyone's drunk, it went down like a charm. They were rolling in the aisles. Because drunk people will laugh at any old fucking shit. It costs $35 to go from Coventry to Preston. But we booked in a month in advance, and then my daughter had to pick us up from the station. Yeah, exactly. Everything in Britain's a fucking rip-off, man. Absolute fucking rip-off.
Within last week of Westminster. This is why, again, I highly recommend you follow Sebastian Salek. He's very, very good at that. And highlighting and breaking down, this is what happened this week in Westminster. So, that, of course, doesn't mean that we see the raft of positive changes that Labour is making week after week.
The raft of policies.
That nothing has changed. They're usually telling us that nothing has changed in my life. It is a pretty subtle point, but it makes their view more understandable. Politics affects people very differently, and depending on your situation, the possibility that they haven't yet felt impacted by Labour's
This
policies.
is fucking boring.
But for many others, that change has
Get
been
spicy.
invisible. Here are some tangible ways that has happened. Millions more NHS appointments, which has helped to bring waiting lists down now to a 2-year low. Free breakfast clubs for over 180,000 pupils, rolling out nationally from September. Water company fines used to help clean up rivers, lakes, and seas. So you notice, bear in mind, normally around this time of year, we have a lot of big news stories about sewage discharge, sewage in this river, sewage in that river. So far yet, I haven't seen any of those stories. You'll notice that because that has come in.
Yeah, I'm
We
speeding
normally
it up. This is boring.
see that quite a bit. Hasn't happened yet so far this year. And then this is the big one. I get to see a lot under my channel and the stuff that I talk about when we talk about this. So, one of the realities that Labour is, of course, facing attacks not just from the right, but also from the left.
Here we go. Here we fucking go, lads. Yes. So, enough with trying to pretend that this was against the right in any way whatsoever. Let's get back to what the Starmeroids really love, attacking the left. Fuck yes. Let's go!
The far left argue that Labour's promise of change serves the very same interests as its Conservative predecessors. The reason they say that is that governing often requires to make choices that, while potentially unpopular in the short term, bring long-term benefits. Not every...
What's the long-term benefit of freezing Granny? Please do tell me. Answers on a postcard, you know?
policy can be as radical or as quickly implemented as we might want. But the truth is that Labour and the Tories have fundamentally different political compasses. Labour aims for fairness, community, and yes, security, and the Tories promise have prioritised free market freedom, deregulation, and individualism.
That's all that you're offering. Literally, fucking Reeves is about to announce a bonfire of the red tape again. Which means 2009 Electric Boogaloo every fucking couple of years, it looks like.
This was very stark when you look at how they've approached some of these policies. Onshore wind, The Tories banned onshore wind farms and handed out more oil and gas licenses. Labour stopped the licenses and lifted the wind farm ban, speeding up clean energy production. On the asylum, the Tories blocked the Home Office from processing most asylum claims and spent millions on migrant hotels and the failed Rwanda scheme. Instead, Labour scrapped the Rwanda scheme, started phasing out hotels, and now has increased the number of applications processed by 116%. Again, strikes. The Tories made it harder to strike, increasing the ballot thresholds and notice periods, and of course the minimum service requirement levels during the strikes. Labour has now scrapped the minimum service levels law and reversing other key restrictions. Meaningful changes happens very quietly and in small places. This is what Labour has so far done this year. It is not our job. It's now our job to put all those pieces together to help voters actually see the full picture. And I really do agree on that. I think there is a story here.
What the fuck are you talking? You haven't said anything. Has he said anything compelling in this at all?
Very, very compelling narrative. That Starmer's first year has been about not only just the security of the UK, making sure that, you know, if we are attacked, that we are defended. That
who the fuck is going to attack? You know we have nuclear weapons. Who the fuck's attacking us? Who? Who in their right mind is attacking us, my man? Also, yeah, the Birmingham bin strike's still going on. He doesn't even get to fucking claim that one as a win. Oh.
As communities, as people are defended as well. That we have security in our home, that we have security in our job. Because that really matters to a lot of people. If you have those things, you know, they are really good to have, to make sure that, you know, you're not just going to get fired suddenly or anything like that, or that, you know, your landlord just can't come along and just evict you. So a lot of those changes slowly rolling out, slowly happening. I think it will take a lot of time for people to really realize that, but it's something that we need to talk about more and really highlight the fact.
Yeah, people just don't realize how awesome Keir Starmer is. And how fantastic the Morgan McSweeney super plan is. And they'll eventually realise. They'll eventually see the four-dimensional underwater backgammon chess hockey that he's playing. Yeah. No, absolutely. We're just too stupid. The people of Britain are just too stupid to see the genius of Keith.
Actually, Labour's first year, there have been some missteps. I don't think they should have U-turned on the winter fuel allowance.
My brain hurts. That's what, like, one of the only vaguely good things they did was undoing, partially anyway, the bullshit that they did. Like, honestly, I'm gonna go mad. I'm gonna go fucking mad. Oh. They've learned nothing, these people. They've learned nothing.
I absolutely don't think they should have U-turned that on that at all.
That's not an issue.
I think having that means tested is perfectly fine.
Because you're a knob, yeah.
But, you know, there you go. But yeah, let me know what you think down below in the comments. So, as always, thank you very much for watching.
So,
and of course, we'll see you all.
The one example he used of a misstep was a thing that they did that was good. Or at least undid the bad thing that they initially had done. Well, you know what? Enjoy seeing the Labour Party get destroyed in a couple of years then, bowler hat man, because that's all that's going to happen. You carry on shitting on the British people, you know what? They get to shit on you back, and they fucking will. Talking of Keith, let's have a look, shall we? The last Prime Minister's questiones before the summer recess. Yippity fucking doodah.
We now come to questions to Prime Minister Jacob Collier. On Mr. Speaker. Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's always been support across this House for the United Kingdom fulfilling our obligations to Afghans who served alongside British forces. We warned in opposition about Conservative management of this policy, and yesterday the Defence Secretary set out the full extent of the failings that we inherited. A major data breach, a super injunction, a secret route that has already cost hundreds of millions of pounds. Ministers who served under the party opposite have serious questions to answer about how this was ever allowed to happen. The chair of the Defence Committee has indicated that he intends to hold further inquiries. I welcome that and hope that those who were in office at the time will welcome that scrutiny. Mr. Speaker,
it's another reason, by the way, because the underrated element of this Afghan migrant story thing is that it's another way in which the Tories fucked over their own voters. Because if they'd have gone to the British people and said, look, we're going to have to let these Afghans in, and been upfront with them, I think people would have been like, okay, that's not ideal, but like whatever. Whereas they were saying, we're going to get the number of incoming migrants down to 0. And then they brought in 1 million people and they covered this up and it cost 7 billion quid. That's a lot of fucking money, man. That's a lot of money. How the fuck do you spend 7 billion on 2,500 people? It's mental. Anyway. So, yeah, so it's you know, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Thanks for stopping by, Flow Snake. Much love to you. Enjoy your evening, afternoon, daytime. Twilight? It could be twilight, I don't know. Anyway.
President Macron's state visit last week saw us secure historic agreements, coordinating our nuclear deterrence, a major investment in Sizewell C, and a landmark returns deal, a crucial next step in restoring order to our immigration system. Tomorrow, Mr. Speaker, I will host Chancellor Merz for further talks on our security and the economy. This morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Families in Burton and Newton...
This is a fucking school child. He even does his fucking tie up like a school kid. What the fuck, man? This man's hair, this man's chin has no hair on it. And not because he's shaved, because his balls probably don't have fucking hair on them. Look at him. The little scrote. What are you doing? This is a school day. Get to your fucking maths class, you little fuck.
Toxter are watching their smart meters like hawks and dreading that moment when their energy bill lands on the doorstep. So I welcome Labour's...
He looks like an extra from In-Betweeners. He's a fucking boss wanker.
Warm homes discount that is going to mean £150 off energy bills. For millions of people across this country, providing meaningful support in these difficult times. Can
we not talk about children's dinner? Well, he's not actually a child. he's not actually a child. I know he's an adult. You have to be, was it 21 to stand or whatever? But what, yeah, anyway.
Prime Minister set out how this is going to help support families in my constituency and around the country.
Prime Minister.
Well, I thank him for his question. I, of course, met his constituent Nicola in her kitchen, and she told me about how hard she's working to support her 3 children, but the past decade has let her down with false promises and public services array. Mr. Speaker, she told me about the difference the warm homes discount will make, £150 off energy bills, and she had a meter, if I recall, in her kitchen recording how much energy she was using, and it would make all the difference to her, is what she told me. And I promise Nicola, my honourable friend, there's much more to come.
Leader of the opposition, Kemi Bedouin.
Who? Who the fuck's this? Who's this lad? I've never heard of him.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday...
A woman? They've got a woman? When did they let women in?
Today, the head of the OBR warned the government that higher and higher levels of taxes are bad for growth. Does the Prime Minister agree?
That's all they've got is this tax thing. They've asked about tax at every single PMQs for like the last 2 months or something.
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you what's bad for growth. 14 years of a Tory government. That's what stagnant growth for 14 years, leaving a £22 billion black hole.
Hey, everyone drink. 22 million fucking billion gazillion black hole. Let's go.
What we've achieved, Mr. Speaker, in the first quarter of this year is the highest growth in the G7, something we promised before the election. investment of £120 billion into this country, which is a record in the first year of any government, and 3 trade deals, all of which will boost growth.
Mr. Speaker, he's talking about what he achieved. We just heard that inflation is up again, the worst in the G7. We left him with 2% inflation. We have borrowing up, unemployment up, taxes are up under his government. The fact is the Prime Minister doesn't get it, so let me tell him. His budget last year had high taxes. That's why the economy is contracting. But, Mr. Speaker, the government has said that they won't put up taxes for people on modest incomes. But they also seem incapable of explaining who is in that category. So can the Prime Minister clear up the confusion and tell us what he thinks a modest income is?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I think of the working people across this country who put in every day and don't get back what they deserve, and that's who we're working for. That's who we're fixing the country. The sort of people that work hard but haven't necessarily got the savings to buy themselves out of problems. And, Mr. Speaker, that's who we're working for, and that's...
So it's a very, very dumb question, and even that he won't answer.
Why we put the national living wage up. That's an extra £1,400. The national minimum wage up. That's £2,500 a year. The triple lock, Mr. Speaker, that went up pension up £470. And of course, we're extending childcare, opening free breakfast clubs and free school meals. We know exactly who we're working for. She comes here every week and just talks the country down.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not talking the country down. I'm talking him down. I asked him what a modest income was. He answered what a working person is. He doesn't know what a modest income is, and even on working people, they cannot define it. The Chief Secretary to the Treasury said that working people are people who don't get a payslip, but millions of self-employed people don't get a payslip. So are the self-employed next in line for a Labour tax rate?
The self-employed were the very people who suffered under their watch, repeatedly suffered under their watch, particularly, if I remember, during COVID, when they didn't get the support that they needed. But she talks the country down, she cherry-picks. We have created, Mr. Speaker, since we've been in government, we've created 380,000 jobs, the employment rate is up, and inactivity is down, the complete opposite of what we inherited.
I don't know where these 3,000 jobs are coming from. Unemployment has gone up every month under his government. And perhaps he should speak to farmers and small business people and find out what those working people think about his government. But, Mr. Speaker, that's not all. We know the Chancellor is launching a review into pension contributions. It's as clear as day why this is. It is because the government is considering taxing them. Does the Prime Minister agree with me that a tax on pension contributions is a tax on working people?
Well, it literally is, and they'll do anything to avoid taxing the people who have the money. The fucking wealthy. Tax the rich, you fucking stupid bastard. You're a Labour Prime Minister, in theory.
Mr. Speaker, we made absolutely clear manifesto commitments, which she asked me about last week and we're keeping to. I'm not going to write the budget months out from the budget. But Mr.
You're a fucking knob, mate. You won't even rule out that. Like, you're usually okay with lying, so just say it. You know how bad that's going to look for you. Oh, he's going to tax pensioners. The communications again. The fucking mental sterility of Sir Keith.
Speaker, I'm proud of the decisions that we took to invest in our NHS, to invest in our public services, all the decisions that they opposed, and it's no wonder that after a first year of a Labour government, business confidence is a 9-year high. That's longer than she's been in government. Mr. Speaker, 384, I'm not withdrawing, I'm going to repeat, business confidence is at a 9-year high.
Mr. Speaker, he says he's not going to write the budget, but his Chancellor is on the front of the Daily Mirror talking about what she's going to do on taxes, so why can't he do the same in the Chamber? Yes. But I asked him about pension contributions. The truth is he doesn't want to talk about pension contributions. It's all right for the Prime Minister. He has his own special law to stop his personal pension from being taxed. But let's be honest, Mr. Speaker, this is really about choices. My party knows that there is an alternative to tax rises. It's cutting spending, something that they...
Wow, the thing you tried and failed to get the economy to grow with. Let's just do the same thing again, because you've learned nothing.
Are too scared or perhaps too weak to do. We offered to work with him to reform welfare and make meaningful savings, but his refusal sent a signal, and now the cost of borrowing is rising. The budget is in November, that is months away, and the markets may not wait. What will the...
Oh no, the markets! What will the markets think? Again, the trebuchet of justice is the only answer.
Prime Minister be doing over the summer to get a grip on the cost of borrowing?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, they left the most incredible mess in the economy, and now they think that they can lecture others. I think just last week their chairman said that they've done the necessary apologising for the 14 years of failure. They've done the necessary... I didn't hear an apology for the lowest living standards in living history. I didn't hear an apology for the £22 billion black hole.
Twice. He's gone back to the classic twice.
I didn't hear an apology for the Liz Truss mini budget, so maybe she should like to stand up and make that apology now.
Oh, right honourable Jenny spotted. Boom shakalaka. There we go. We've got a Jenny. The only honourable four legs in the place. Boom. There she is. Absolute queen. Slaying. Whilst also laying down on the floor.
Mr. Speaker, he's not doing... Yes. Mr. Speaker, he's not planning on doing anything this summer to fix the economy. The shadow of the last budget is hanging over the entire country. Just yesterday, only the Conservatives supported the two-child benefit cap, because only the Conservatives believe in living within our means. Not Labour, not the Liberal Democrats, not Reform. But it's the end of term, Mr. Speaker, so why don't we go through his end of term scorecard? The economy is contracting. Inflation, highest in the G7. Unemployment, up every month under this government. Spending, out of control. Borrowing costs, more expensive than Greece. And this is just the first year, Mr. Speaker. The Labour Party should be ashamed of what it is doing to the country.
I kind of can't wait for her to fuck off, because, like, we do actually need a competent opposition to try and hold them accountable. Like, I don't want the Tories to be competent as such, but it's sort of important to the functioning of a democracy, really, that you have someone doing something rather than just going, shame, end of season report card. The fuck are you doing? What is this gimmick rubbish?
They can shake, Mr. Speaker, they can shake their heads as much as they like. The fact is, this summer, they're going to have to go to their constituents and explain why they've been making such a mess over the last 12 months. And isn't the case, Mr. Speaker, that the worst, given that this is just their first year, the worst is yet to come?
We're happily going to go to our constituents. We're going to tell them we promised 2 million extra NHS appointments and we delivered 4 million extra appointments. Mr. Speaker, I've got to upgrade that. It's now 4.5 million extra appointments. So we're going to tell our constituents that. Then we're going to tell them about the free school meals we're rolling about, the free breakfast clubs, the free childcare and school uniform costs. We'll tell them about that. And then when we've done that, we'll move on to affordable houses and tell them about the £39 billion we're investing.
There's definitely an end of school type feel to this. They're a lot more jovial, I suppose. There's an air of kind of like they just want to get away to the beach now. I think a lot of them.
Finish that, we'll tell them about the rail and road upgrades across the country, the £120 billion investment, and of course the 3 trade deals. And Mr. Speaker, we're only just getting started.
Thank
you, Mr. Speaker. The Prime Minister will never know exactly how much it meant to victims.
See, now usually when you hear this accent, they're about to say something monumentally crazy. Because the only people... Well, actually, that's not true. Sometimes you get good people at the SDLP or whatever, the Alliance or whatever. But most of the time when you hear this accent speaking in Parliament, they're about to say, like, homosexuality is a sin or something, right? But this guy's a Labour guy, so, like, he's probably going to be less religiously mental. Yes. Also, this guy here, he looks like... What's the character from Bob's Burgers? Is he like an inspector or something? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? He looks like the character from Bob's Burgers. Oh, fuck, I can't remember the name of the character. Hang on. Bob's Burgers characters. List of Bob's Burgers characters. Is there pictures? Because I'm looking for pictures rather than just... Oh, that's not helpful. Here we go. I want pictures. List of characters. Oh, for fuck's sake. Those are tiny pictures! That is not helping me. Hugo? Is it Hugo? There we go, Hugo, yeah. It is Sam, it's Sam Cedar's character, yeah. Look at him. Hang on. It's Hugo Habercore? I didn't know that was his surname. Anyway. He's literally, that's him. He exists in the British Parliament for some fucking reason. Why is Sam Cedar in the British Parliament? That's weird. It's weird, Sam Cedar. Stop being in Parliament. Go back into the show. Emma misses you. He looks like Swiss he does look like Swiss Tony. Being in Parliament is much like making love to a beautiful woman. You either get that or you don't. I'm not fucking spoon feeding you 90s comedy references.
Of the troubles in Northern Ireland from right across society, when he came, looked them in their eyes and promised them that no murderer would be immune from prosecution. Can he tell us when the last time he spoke to the Taoiseach about the shared approach to this issue was, and can he recommit today to those victims to ensure that no murderer will be seen as above the law?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this is a really important issue.
The answer is no. They're already passing a law that will enable all of the murderers to walk free. Like the no British fucking military officer or whatever is going to ever be fucking prosecuted for their heinous murders. The butchers of Belfast will roam free.
Can I begin by saying I have a profound respect and debt to our veterans who served. This is a complicated issue, and we've got to get this right. Veterans are at risk because of the false promises of the last government. Let's be clear. They made a false promise of immunity that does not exist. It was unlawful, it was struck down, and it was undeliverable. Their failed Legacy Act leaves veterans exposed with no settled process. We will create a secure, transparent...
I genuinely want to... I'd love to be able to do a seance, if that was a real thing, where you could actually contact dead people rather than just a load of shite. And get in contact with the spirit of one Anthony Blair. Not Anthony Blair. Fuck off, Kev. Anthony Benn. Tony Benn. The former Labour minister from the fucking 70s or whatever. And kind of bastion of the British left. And indeed, father of the man whose very sad, smacked arse of a face you see on the screen there. One Hillary Benn. And ask him like how disgusted he is with his own son. Not only did his one and only realistic contribution to parliamentary life be him convincing the Labour Party whilst in opposition to vote for the bombing of Syria, but he's now just like a total fucking sellout piece of shit. Like a total, like, he's shitting on his father's legacy with every single action he ever takes now. Like, I'd love to get like the quote from Tony Benn, because he had a way with words. He had a kind of forthrightness that I don't think I've seen from any politician, certainly of the modern era. And I'd love to get his exact kind of thoughts on that, and how disgusted he is with his own the spoiled fruits of his loin, so to speak.
System that protects veterans from unjustified persecution and gives victims, families and survivors the confidence that they need in the process.
Oh, I'm not suggesting the SDLP are perfect, but I mean, like, they're not like sectarian crazy cunts. Was just the differential I was drawing between some Northern Irish MPs who go to Parliament and like the DUP or the UUP, or, you know, what's the new one? The Traditional Ulster Voice, or whatever the fuck they're called. The People's Front of I suppose they would call it. I was about to say the People's Front of Derry, but they would call it Londonderry, I suppose. Which is a mixture of Blackadder and Northern Irish politics, which is, yeah. Anyway, yeah, those people are fucking mental.
Sir Ed David, leader of the Liberal Democrats.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I associate myself with the Prime Minister's words about the shocking Afghan data breach under the previous government kept secret for 3 years? And he will have our support if he decides to pursue a public inquiry. Mr. Speaker.
That would be quite funny if they did a public inquiry over this. Because the Tories are already fucked. So why not? Yeah, fuck it. Pile on. Why not?
I know the Prime Minister will agree that the shocking rise of anti-Semitism we have seen since Hamas's October the 7th terror attacks has no place in our society.
Like, it's so horrible that I hear some dickhead in Parliament talk about the rise of anti-Semitism, and you're like, that's a really important issue that I wish you were taking seriously, and you're not. You're just using it as a way to be like, oh, October the 7th, we support Israel. And so I just, look, I sigh. I just sigh when I hear them say this now, because they don't actually give a fuck. They don't. Useless fucking wankers.
British Jews should not have to live in fear of hatred, racism and abuse on our streets or online. A new report from the Board of Deputies Commission on Anti-Semitism, chaired by Lord Mann and Dame.
But we know that the British Board of Deputies, the Board of Deputies of British Jews are an Israeli front. We absolutely know that to be the case. Okay, they're not here to represent British Jewish people, just like the Chief Rabbi doesn't represent British Jewish people. They represent the interests of one thing: Israel. That is it. They have shown that absolutely and conclusively with every action they've drawn. Every statement, every position they hold is just Israel first, fuck British Jews. Especially fuck British Jews if they disagree with us in any way whatsoever. Let alone if it's a British Jewish person who happens to, you know, say, criticise Israel in any way whatsoever. Those people are self-hating Jews. Those people are selling other Jewish people down the river. Apparently. So you know what? Fuck what the Board of Deputies think. They're cunts. They're horrible, nasty Zionist cunts. Nothing more, nothing less. Stop fucking bringing them up as if like they represent anyone other than Benjamin Netanyahu. Because that's all they are. They're just agents of a foreign fucking country as well. Most British Jewish people are fucking awesome, right? And they're let down by a leadership that act openly as a fifth column. That's what's taking place. And for you, a fucking leader of one of the mainstream parties, could even be the leader of His Majesty's loyal opposition in a few years, to fucking spew this shite is a disappointment. A real fucking disappointment. And I know you're the leader of the Lib Dems, so why should I be disappointed that you don't stand for anything? Yeah, they expelled deputies who signed a "maybe Israel shouldn't kill people" letter, yeah. Because again, they don't represent British Jews or the opinions of British Jewish people. No, they represent Israel. Full stop. Period. End of sentence. There is no other issue for them. They just care about protecting Israel and nothing else.
Penny Mordaunt has set out 10 recommendations to tackle this appalling scourge. Will the Prime Minister study this report, and will his government respond to it in full?
Prime Minister.
Yes, we will. And we must fight anti-Semitism wherever we find it, as we must fight all hate offences, crimes and incidents wherever we find them.
Sir Ed David.
Can I thank the Prime Minister for that reply? I hope we will see more action to tackle anti-Semitism. Returning to the Middle East now, Mr. Speaker, the world is looking on in horror at the scenes from Gaza. And now Netanyahu's ministers want to lock the whole population of Gaza into effectively...
So, oh my God, he's such a fucking spineless cunt that he wants to ask a question about Gaza. He wants to say, why isn't the British government doing anything to stop the slaughter, to stop the genocide? Perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable thing for a leader of a British political party to want to ask the Prime Minister about. Especially a Prime Minister who's been so pathetically reticent to do anything other than support Israel in whatever it wants to do.
Stop it. Get some help.
He really ought to, though. Because he had to preface it by asking the first question, which was about, look, see how much I care about anti-Semitism? Because so I'm not an anti-Semite, you understand? I'm not doing anti-Semitism because I'm asking my first question about anti-Semitism. Now, can I ask the question I actually want to ask? That's how pathetic it is. He has to waste his first question on a thing he doesn't want to ask about, just to be able to have, like, a smokescreen of, like, I'm not an anti-Semite. Which doesn't need to be a smokescreen because he's not being anti-Semitic. By asking about, maybe we could do something to try and stop Israel from, you know, genociding people, that's not an anti-Semitic thing to ask. And the fact that you felt the need to couch it in that way, I mean, it's pathetic on your part, but also speaks to a broader truth about the way in which Britain is so cocked, so pathetically cocked. The entirety of the British political establishment is cocked out to this idea. It's fucking embarrassing. Thank you, Igloo BC, with 22 months. Legend! Let's go.
A giant prison. A plan that would clearly amount to ethnic cleansing, as former Israeli Prime Minister Olmert has said. Does the Prime Minister agree that this is utterly abhorrent and unacceptable? And will he make clear to the Israeli government that the UK will not stand idly by and will act, starting...
Well, of course it won't stand idly by. It's actively aiding and abetting it. It's sending weapons. It's sending money. It's sending spy planes. It's got former British Prime Ministers having their foundations writing the fucking policy documents for the ethnic cleansing. We're not standing idly by. And we're not going to stand idly by. The British government have set their course for actively supporting genocide. In fact, being a part of the genocide. Keir Starmer doesn't have blood on his hands. He is wading up to his fucking knees in the blood of Palestinians. Such is his guilt in this.
by sanctioning Prime Minister Netanyahu himself.
Prime Minister.
Well, I am appalled by these suggestions in relation to Gaza, just as I'm appalled by the reports of yet more civilians being killed whilst trying to access aid. So on both fronts, I'm appalled.
Well, at least he said killed. That's better than RTE today. I don't know if you saw this. This drove me fucking mental. This is the standard of journalism in the Western world, apparently. So, RTE, an Irish news organisation, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation said that 20 people died at an aid point in Khan Yunis in the south of the Palestinian territory. Died. Not even were killed. Died. What, presumably of a heart attack? Or a heat stroke? Or just a mass outbreak of cholera? Died. I mean, that's the ultimate passive voice. Then not only, they won't even say killed and then not tell you who killed them and why. Just died. Don't bother informing your reader, RTE. Don't bother being journalists and, you know, telling people how these people died. Don't do that. No. You wouldn't want to be anti-Semitic, would you? Fuck off. God, the journalists of the world have really fucking showed their arse with all of this. Fucking spineless at best, complicit at worst. I fucking hate journalists. They're the fucking worst.
By what we are seeing and what we're hearing, we raise it regularly.
And again, I want to say Western journalists. And the majority of them. There are some great ones, obviously. But fucking spineless cunts like this, or basically anyone still working for the BBC. Fucking wankers.
He would expect. In relation to the civilians being killed, I would expect them to be fully and transparently investigated with full accountability for any failings. And Israel must clearly put in place measures that properly protect civilians in line with international law. And that is...
And they have not done that repeatedly, and you refuse to do anything about it. So you can continue to say they should do X, Y, Z. Of course they should do those things. But when they don't do it, what's to stop them from doing it again and again and again and again? Because they face no consequences. You refuse to do anything about this. Again, you are complicit in genocide.
The case we're pressing repeatedly. But we do also want to see, and alongside that, an immediate ceasefire so that the remaining hostages can be brought out and aid at volume and at speed can be got in, and a political process opened that, in my view, is the only way we're going to get a lasting solution.
Interestingly, about an hour or so after this, Benjamin Netanyahu decided to bomb the shit out of Damascus. That being the capital of Syria. But, you know, Israel doesn't want war, obviously. Obviously not. No. Crazy talk. Why would anyone suggest that? Oh, he's got hiccups. Oh, you look at hiccups.
Back there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last week, 4-year-old Eli Tester was killed in Rottenstall Cemetery when a memorial stone fell on him. All of Rosendale was shocked by this tragedy, so I hope the Prime Minister will join me in offering our deepest condolences to Eli's parents and family. And Mr. Speaker, families in Rosendale are also deeply concerned about reports that Reform-led Lancashire County Council are considering cuts to nursery funding. This would raise costs for working parents and might even force some nurseries to close. If this is an example of the sort of efficiencies that Reform are considering, then all of Lancashire, indeed all of us, should be worried. So would the Prime Minister join me in asking Lancashire County Council to think again?
Prime Minister.
Can I extend my deepest condolences to Eli's friends and family? And I do join him in urging the new Reform Council to think again and to change their mind on damaging cuts that hit children and young families. I have to say...
Motherfucker! You've literally kept the 2-child benefit cap in place, which is like the thing that most affects families and young children. You fucking cockhead. Well, of course, Vicky, of course you didn't hear that story, because why would the Western media tell you the truth about what Israel's doing? Of course they wouldn't. I don't know.
Honourable friend is doing a much better job than his predecessor.
Also, I don't think that's a bloodstain tie. I think that's poppies. I think that's the flowers or roses or something. Although it does just kind of look like blood, but I think they're flowers.
So the Conservative Party chairman under Liz Truss, who has now joined Reform, which proves once again, if you vote Tory, you get Reform, and if you vote Reform, you get the Tories. Whilst both of them...
Well, people voted for the Labour Party and got the Tories, so... What's the difference?
Cutting services at home. We support families with free school meals, free breakfast clubs, and extending free childcare.
Sir Desmond Swain.
Sir Desmond Swain.
Jack Straw told us that the 98 Act places on us no expectation that we will...
Oh, God. See, do you remember earlier when I said that the long room at Lord's is full of arseholes? Because there was the cricket thing earlier. The tie he's wearing there is the MCC tie, which stands for the Marylebone Cricket Club, which is the organisation which owns Lord's. Middlesex County Cricket Club play there, but it's like the MCC, which was the original keeper of the rules of cricket and all the rest of it. Anyway, so this is the kind of posho twat bag that I'm referring to, because he's an MCC member. That's why he's wearing this fucking tie. Oh no, you meant... Oh, okay, the other story, right. Okay, I'm with you.
Remedy a declaration of incompatibility issued by a court. So the Prime Minister is wrong to say that the Legacy Act is struck down. But his own proposals, which open the door to compensation to Gerry Adams and place in jeopardy our own servicemen, present enormous difficulty to those of us who have served, increasingly on his own benches. Will he consider that?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the failed Legacy Act was struck down by the courts in Northern Ireland. And that leaves
They are amazing sideburns, to be fair. I'll give him that.
Exposed. What we're doing is creating a secure, transparent system that protects veterans from unjustified persecution, but also gives victims, families and survivors the confidence that they need in the process.
Paul Wall.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Workers in Rochdale on the minimum wage received a much-needed pay rise this summer, thanks to this government. But honest businesses are being undermined by the menace of illegal working, particularly illegal working by illegal migrants from Iran and Iraq in bogus barbershops and fake vape shops. So will the Prime Minister agree with me that we need to speed up the rollout of digital ID?
I did mention the MCC in the cricket video I did about Basil D'Oliveira. Well, it's actually a politics video about a cricketer, but anyway.
Help our police and immigration staff crack down on this grey market that ruins our high streets and undercuts the workers' pay of British workers.
My honourable friend is an excellent champion for Rochdale and a strong supporter, I know, of his local police and trading standards teams. Since we came to power, Mr. Speaker, we've ramped up enforcement raids on illegal working. Arrests have gone up by 50%, and we're tightening the law on delivery drivers. Digital ID will help us tackle illegal working, and we're rolling out the use of e-visas to have digital records of immigration status and checks to allow on-the-spot checks of anybody's right to work.
James McCleary.
Severe pregnancy sickness, hyperemesis gravidarum or HG, can mean vomiting more than 20 times a day. It causes physical discomfort, acute malnutrition and severe dehydration, which often leads to hospitalisation. It has profound and long-lasting mental health consequences. Recently, it was reported the woman took her own life after being denied access to the only licensed treatment, Zomvia. Tragically, her unborn child died too. The drug is licensed and available, yet women face a cruel postcode lottery to access it. Will the Prime Minister work urgently with the Department for Health to end this scandal so that every woman who needs Zomvia can get it wherever she lives? And will he meet with me and campaigners to look at this as a matter of urgency?
Prime Minister. Well, I thank him for raising this really important issue, and
No,
obviously
I
incredibly
can do
sorry to
that.
hear about the tragic case that he mentions. As he will know, the availability of this drug is regulated across the NHS by NICE, who make decisions on which treatments provide the best care for patients whilst maintaining value for money with the taxpayer. But I will make sure that he gets a meeting with the relevant minister to see what more can be done to get this treatment to patients who need it.
Levandu Mishra.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in Stockport, approximately 20% of families live in social housing. After Stockport Liberal Democrat and Conservative councillors blocked the Greater Manchester Spatial Framework proposal in 2020, the need for social housing is even more critical. Far too many families are living in insecure, overcrowded accommodation, waiting years for a suitable family home. I welcome Labour's record-breaking £39 billion investment into social and affordable housing, and I want to make sure that communities like mine in Stockport are prioritised. So can I ask the Prime Minister to confirm that these homes will be built, they will be affordable, and will he look again at suspending the right to buy?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we are delivering the biggest boost to social and affordable housing in a...
Honestly, they should end the right to buy nonsense. It's the hollowed out council housing as it is.
generation are proud to do so. Our £39 billion investment will deliver around 300,000 sociable and affordable homes, with at least 60% of homes delivered for social rent.
Awesome.
Mr. Speaker, whilst we don't intend to remove the right to buy, which helps social tenants get on the property ladder, we're reforming the scheme to protect social housing stock and encourage councils to deliver more new homes.
Sir Julian Smith.
Mr. Speaker, a much better understanding of the particular needs of autistic and neurodiverse children is vital to...
Now, he's probably going to ask a really good question here, I think, maybe. But, like, give it up, mate. You can, that little flick of hair at the front is not hiding the fact that you are a bald man. It is drawing attention to the fact that there is no fucking hair on the top of your head. Just saying.
To expand capacity in Main Street education for SEND pupils. Can I urge him, as he looks at this bill over the summer, the SEND bill, to introduce mandatory training for all teachers and all staff on autism and neurodiversity?
Well, Prime Minister.
Can I thank him for that?
It's like a moustache for his forehead. It is. He's got a Hercule Poirot tash on his fucking bonce. Love it.
Because parents and children have been failed far too often. We are committing an additional £1 billion into SEND, but there must be meaningful reform alongside it, and new teachers must have the appropriate training. So we're committed to reviewing, to working with parents and teachers, and we'll take away his suggestion. And I invite him and others across the House to work with us on this important reform, because I think this issue has been raised more than any other with me at Prime Minister's question. It's clearly a broken system. It needs reform, and if we can work together across the House to get it right, I think that is the least we owe to parents and children across the country. Thank you.
Blocker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I commend the Prime Minister for his work in tackling arbitrary detention of British citizens abroad and warmly welcome the...
Okay, again, I don't want to be that guy, but, like, he's also supporting the arbitrary detention of Palestinians. Like, is it only bad if it's happening to British people? Your fucking briefcase.
Creation of a special envoy. The Prime Minister will know of the anguish of the families of Jimmy Lai, Ryan Cornelius, Abdel Fattah, Jagtar Singh Johal and others. So can he tell us when he anticipates the appointment of the envoy? And will they have real powers like their counterparts in Canada and the United States to help bring our people home?
Prime Minister.
Well, can I start by thanking him for his work on the APBG, championing the plight of British nationals facing the most difficult circumstances overseas. We do routinely raise these cases with international counterparts, as he would expect, and we're deeply committed to getting them home and united with their loved ones. As part of strengthening support for British nationals overseas, we are working at pace to get the envoy role.
Have I gloated over England winning the other day with you yet? I don't know. I forget. It's a good match though. I don't know if you follow the cricket, because you're like American, aren't you? So, like, I don't know if you bother. Seems kind of racist to just suggest, well, that person's of Indian heritage, they must like cricket. That's not how that works. Also, I do like the cloud socks of this person. They've got cloud socks with like blue. That's nice. I like a funky. I like a funky sock. No, you do follow it. Well, there you go. That's well. Yeah. India is mid this year, a little bit. Although England aren't that great, but then you are two of them there. Anyway, I mean, England is not an easy place for India to come and play. It's very, very different conditions. Just like when England go to India, the fact that we've got no spinners, it just means we're going to lose, obviously.
Set up.
It wasn't so bad when Graham Swan was around, because he was a good spinner. Maybe not as good as the classics of India, but like I mean, useful enough. Monty Panesar, or Panessa, I suppose as it should be pronounced, could spin the ball, but next time we go to India, we are fucked.
And I'll make sure that he's kept updated in relation
Good night,
to that.
Fogel.
Blake Stevens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Government plans for English devolution and NHS reform suggest that integrated care boards should align with new strategic authorities. The government's plan for Bedfordshire won't currently achieve this. So what assurances can the...
Again, you've got slightly more hair, but if you look between the thatch on the top of your head, you're not convincing anybody there, my man. You realise that the camera that you're being viewed on right now is above you. We can see the, let's say, thinning, extreme thinning of your hair. Also, look at little tiny Marc Francois popping up. His little red face. Just like we're getting half a Francois. A fra, if you will.
Prime Minister provide that local NHS reorganisation will be good value for money, improve local accountability and deliver the healthcare services needed to serve my constituents in rural mid-Bedfordshire, including the much-needed GP surgery in Wixham's.
Prime Minister.
The points to make about good value for money and accountability are really important. They're embedded in the work we're doing with the NHS at the moment, which is improving under our watch, not only the waiting lists, but in other respects. The 10-year plan for the NHS...
Don't you dare suggest that Sir Edward Lee has a face that looks like it's alcoholism. Not that he has alcoholism, his face is alcoholism.
Which is intended to ensure that the NHS is fit for the future, has a number of principles, including principles of local accountability.
Brandish.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On the 11th of June, Alexander Dennis announced that he was planning to stop bus manufacturing in Scotland. My honourable friend from Falkirk and I have both met with the workers, the trade unions, the company and both UK and Scottish Government ministers to see how closure can be averted. Alexander Dennis needs commitment of orders for 2025 and 2026, and elected mayors are ideally placed to do this. Our industrial strategy is right when it says where things are made and by whom matters. So, can the Prime Minister assure Alexander Dennis and the workers that he believes bus manufacturing should have a future in Larbert and Falkirk?
Prime Minister.
I'm grateful to him for raising this.
Scottish?
Deeply,
I can't tell.
It is a deeply concerning time for the workers and their families.
He's as Scottish as shortbread and heroin.
I do agree, and we're working with mayors and local leaders to develop a pipeline of future orders for zero-emissions buses, and that's an important aspect here. And the Minister of Local Transport is hosting an urgent meeting of the bus manufacturing expert panel. Mr. Speaker, while Labour mayors in England are ordering Scottish buses, the SNP are ordering buses from China, just like they ordered ships.
Yes! Xi Jinping, do nothing, sell buses, win. Boom.
From Turkey and Poland, not Scottish shipyards. The SNP should be backing Scottish workers.
Graham Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Could I begin by warmly congratulating the Prime Minister on his first year in office, acknowledge that the Labour manifesto was beautifully written, deeply moving, and like that other great blockbuster of hope and redemption, The Salt Path, a total pack of lies.
Wow, that is a very weird little reference. Jesus Christ. You know you're in Parliament, mate.
With joblessness, inflation...
Like, the point he's making is correct. They lied. Their entire manifesto was a load of bollocks. True. Absolutely correct. But why word it that way? It's just very, very sad.
And debt ballooning, his personal ratings collapsing, and...
Will he give way?
And his backbenchers on a work to rule. Could the Prime Minister...
Okay, that's pretty good. His backbenchers on a work to rule. That's, you know what, I'll give him that. He's dragged it back. He's dragged it back.
Could...
Now he needs to finish off by actually asking a fucking question at some point.
Could the Prime Minister recommend...
Come on, let's get on with the question.
Could the Prime Minister recommend a summer recess read in order to take all our minds away from the calamitous journey on which he and the Chancellor have embarked?
Wow, he asked the question. Bravo.
I think most of their backbenchers are already on their summer recess, looking at the benches opposite, Mr. Speaker. We are very proud of our manifesto. It was a very successful manifesto, giving a landslide victory, and now we're very proud to be implementing it.
Brilliant. What a waste of energy all of that was.
Speaker, and let us be clear in this House. Israel is starving Palestinian children. That is a war crime. Israel is killing Palestinian children as they queue for food. That is a war crime.
Yep.
Our government quite rightly imposes thousands of sanctions on Russia for its war crimes in Ukraine. How many more horrors must we witness before the Prime Minister acts with the same scale of sanctions against Israel to stop this genocide? Don't Palestinian lives matter?
Hear, hear. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker.
Now, I admire the passion of the question, and I don't deny the sincerity. And I agree generally with the sentiment. What I will say is you are sat behind the man who is actively aiding and abetting them. Why are you still in the Labour Party? Why are you still there? Like, you're on the right track there. You've got the right point. But what you're doing is being a member of the same party as the man you are asking that question to, i.e. the man who, again, is up to his fucking, up to his waist in blood. Palestinian blood. He wades through it every day. So complicit in that genocide is he. Why are you in his party? Why are you still there? Why are you having to beg him to do fucking anything to stop the genocide you have just outlined? He is actively participating in that genocide. So, like I say, I don't doubt the sincerity for a second. What I doubt is any effectiveness. Like, why are you selling your soul by continuing to be in this party? You know? Because you know the answer he's now going to give is just going to be a pat response. He's going to play it with a straight bat, to use a cricket term, right? There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing going to happen here. Even after that very powerful point that he made and question that he asked.
Speaker, as I said earlier, I'm appalled by reports of more civilians being killed.
He's appalled. He's appalled by it. He's absolutely appalled by it. Not appalled enough to stop selling them weapons. Not appalled enough to stop doing the spy plane flights. Not appalled enough to actually sanction them in any way whatsoever. Not appalled enough to say that they will actually arrest Benjamin Netanyahu or is it Yoav Gallant, I think, that are both wanted by the ICC. Not enough of that, no. Appalled in a different way, somehow.
In Gaza, particularly when they are trying to access aid. And each of those incidents does need to be fully and transparently investigated with accountability for any failing. That, of course, has to be alongside the ceasefire that is desperately needed and we're working hard with others to achieve, to release all of the hostages that remain, but also to protect civilians.
I think you mean release the sausages that remain.
Civilians and get much more aid at speed and volume into Gaza.
Lincoln John.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I can see why you call these sessions Prime Minister's questions and not Prime Minister's answers.
Technically, they're called questions to the Prime Minister, but okay. Again, another thinning hair situation going on.
If it carries on, there will be no more. Come on, Lincoln John.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Following the magnificent success of the England cricket team earlier on this week and the triumphal return of Mr. Jofra Archer, would the Prime Minister agree that what he needs to get from his ministers over the next 12 months is more pace and less spin?
Okay, I mean, I see what he's done there. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with... Look, it's a bit silly, but I know what he's done. And that's okay. And it's a cricket reference. And, surprisingly, he was okay with a black man bowling for England, which, like... I mean, the Tory party has improved a little. Just a tiny... Like, an almost imperceivably small amount. You've changed. Have I?
My ministers have delivered on the NHS, on the economy, on rail, etc. He needs a break.
I'm a foodie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Successive Conservative governments failed to invest in the North East transport infrastructure. Whilst the Labour government is...
It was a disgrace, man. Total disgrace. I'm sorry, I was channeling my my inner oh fuck's sake, what was his name again? But it doesn't matter. The bloke from the other day. Oh, my brain has melted tonight. I can't remember anything.
already changing that with the 1.8 billion recently secured for the region.
Upgrading
Moor Farm and Seaton-Burn roundabouts can build on that, unlocking growth, and it's supported by local people and businesses. Does the Prime Minister share my disappointment that rather than support my campaign for upgrades, the Conservative leadership in Northumberland County Council are actively undermining my lobbying efforts to deliver this game changer for the North East?
Prime Minister. She's doing a superb job for Northumberland, and I'm happy to...
What is it? 255/Clem H Fandango. What would happen if someone said, I support Palestine action during PMQs? Well, interestingly, you say that. 255. Interesting that you bring that up. Because we did have exactly that that occasion. Zara Sultana, her of the maybe doing a political party with Jeremy Corbyn fame. Former Labour Member of Parliament. The MP for Coventry South, not far from me then. Had just such an incident. She says, during the parliamentary debate on Wednesday the 2nd of July 2025, I said, quote, we are all Palestine action, unquote. Yet this was not included in Hansard's official record. Hansard is the organisation which chronicles the speeches and... basically, if the parliamentarians do anything in Parliament, they record what goes on there. And you can find the exact thing. This was censorship. Today, I challenged that omission and corrected the record. We will not be silenced.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I seek your guidance regarding the accuracy of the official report in Hansard. In my speech on Wednesday, the 2nd of July 2025, during the debate on prevention and suppression of terrorism, I said the words, and I quote, "We are all Palestine action." The video and audio recordings clearly confirm that the full sentence was spoken before the chair intervened. However, Hansard has omitted the final word of that sentence. I have been advised that this is due to a long-standing convention not to report words spoken after the chair intervenes, but in this instance, the record omits words spoken before the chair's intervention. I'm also aware of precedents which I can provide where members' final words immediately preceding or overlapping an intervention have been included to preserve the accuracy of the record. Despite this, Hansard has not only refused to amend the entry, but has since removed the sentence entirely. This
Jesus Christ. I mean, that is blatant censorship of a member of Parliament in their official proceeding. To cut out the entire sentence because the brown lady got uppity. So you don't get any words. You're annoyed that we stole one word from you. We're going to steal all the words from you. Fucking Christ almighty.
Of censorship and rewriting the record is deeply concerning and undermines the integrity of the official report. Can you therefore advise me and the House, Madam Deputy Speaker, on whether there are formal mechanisms to challenge omissions of this kind, reinstate the accurate record, and ensure that Hansard fulfills its duty to provide a full and accurate record of proceedings in this House?
The honourable member has now twice put her words on the record, no doubt, and if she is not aware, and for colleagues across the House if they're not aware, Hansard has their own editorial policy, and if she wishes to have her words corrected, she needs to take that up directly with Hansard. It's not a responsibility of the chair.
Well, it fucking should be. If Hansard is going to be the official record of Parliament, why the fuck doesn't the chair have any control over that? What a load of shit. Does Coventry still playing Birmingham? No, they've subsequently gone back to the I don't even know what the stadium's called. The new stadium in Coventry. What was the Rico Arena? I don't know if it's still called that. Kashmir is the next place to watch, to be honest. I'm scared of what's going to happen the next few years. Yeah, well, to be fair, boy, Ms. Mehdi, Kashmir has been sort of on the verge of lots of awful shit for the past 50 years. Which you do suspect, like Krakatoa or like Yellowstone or whatever, Mount St. Helena and all of that. Eventually it's going to go up. And it's not going to be nice. It's just, can we tell when it's going to happen? No. And that's the very scary bit.
To set out what we've delivered. Over £400 million of funding for Northumberland County Council this year. That's a 5.8% increase this year, Mr. Speaker. An 80% increase in the number of homes starting construction in her area. A near £30 million increase in funding for Northumbria Police. And 14 free breakfast clubs in Northumberland supporting over 3,000 children. That's the difference a Labour government makes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. During my meetings with guests on the Homes for Ukraine scheme in my Newton Abbot constituency, they are telling me that they are worried about their visas running out, even with the 18-month extension. They see reports of Ukrainians being refused asylum in the UK since it's said to be safe to return to Ukraine.
Oh yeah, because they're not. We don't want to play with you anymore. We don't need to fuck with you anymore, Ukraine. You have done what we wanted you to do, which was to bleed our geopolitical enemy dry. So now, we just, you can fuck off home to your destroyed country that we helped to destroy. Fucking hell, man. Oh, the British government are fucking scum. I did say this. Like, I support the Ukrainian cause. I absolutely do. They have every right to defend themselves against hostile invasion and all the rest of it. What I also said, though, at the very start, was that the Ukrainians should not misunderstand the support it's getting from the West as actual support or solidarity. What it is an investment so that you do the fighting and bleed Russia dry. And then as soon as you're not useful anymore, they will absolutely drop you like a sack of shit. We're in the beginnings of the dropping like a sack of shit part of this now, I think. No more everyone's welcome, bring in the Ukrainians, none of that shit anymore. Fucking evil. The Coventry Building Society Arena, also shortened to the CBS Arena, or simply the Coventry Arena, also formerly known as the Rico Arena. There we go. It's called the CBS Arena now. For anyone who gives the slightest fuck. I may go to the away game when we play Coventry this year. Or I might not. We'll fucking see, won't we?
Ukraine, even while Putin's missiles explode in Ukraine cities in record numbers. Some of their children are working through 2- or 3-year education courses and are frightened of having to leave. Will the Prime Minister meet with them and myself to hear their plight and offer them some hope in this uncertain and dangerous world?
Prime Minister. Well, I thank him for raising this, and we're proud to have offered or extended sanctuary to over 300,000 Ukrainians and their families throughout the visa scheme since the invasion.
Precisely like America did with the Afghans after the Soviets left. That's all that the kind of NATO powers will ever do, is use you as a proxy to bleed their geopolitical enemy dry. And then when you're not useful anymore, throw you to the wolves. The wolves being the Taliban and Al-Qaeda and various other groups.
2022.
Sorry, the brave fighters of the Mujahideen.
We do need to provide certainty and security for Ukrainians in the United Kingdom, and we will provide an additional 18 months permission to remain in the UK and continued rights to live, work and study here as well.
James Frith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 2017, I led a select committee inquiry that warned of an emerging disaster in SEND. Those warnings went unheeded by the Conservatives, who left behind a broken system, which even they have admitted...
No, CBS.
...since is lose, lose, lose. Can the Prime Minister confirm that this Labour government's...
I do like a polka dot dress, I have to say. There's a kind of nice old school sort of charm to it. Kitsch, you know? It's the brave fighters of the Azov Battalion this time. Well, exactly. I mean, you've literally seen those press reports from like the New York Times about this brave Ukrainian fighter, and you can literally see like the Azov shit and like Nazi tattoos and stuff. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? You under no circumstances do you got to hand it to the Azov Battalion. You just don't. And by hand it, I mean hand weaponry to them. Jesus.
Rebuilt SEND system will be shaped by listening to the needs of SEN families, never again ignored, but served in the best traditions of a Labour government.
Prime Minister.
Well, he's right, and I think there's general agreement across the House that the system is broken, just like almost everything they touched, which was broken at the end of 14 miserable years. It doesn't work for parents, and it lets down children, and we will reform it. We're already investing an additional £1 billion, but we do need a system that truly supports every child. We're developing proposals, and I want to work across the House in order to get the right outcome.
Final question, Pepe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yet again, we're suffering record-breaking heat waves and drought, which are worrying people in my constituency of South Cambridgeshire, which are both the fastest-growing and the most water-stressed area in the country. The proposed Fens Reservoir is important, but will only provide water...
Remember how silly these constituencies are in some respects. Do you remember the conversation we had with No Justice about, was it North Herefordshire or whatever? Like, the fact that it's South Cambridgeshire. That's half an entire county. That's how, like, that no one fucking lives there, basically, is the point. When you have a fucking county. If a county name is in your thing, it's a silly place. It is a silly place.
water for the already ambitious house-building plans, not the thousands of new homes that the government proposes. Does the Prime Minister agree with me that the water crisis in Greater Cambridge is a deal-breaker for the government's growth plans, and will he help me urgently convene a ministerial roundtable with the Cambridge Water Scarcity Group?
She's right to draw attention to the drought and the question more generally of reservoirs. It is shocking that a new reservoir hasn't been built for a very, very long time, not at all in the previous 14 years. We are rebuilding now, and we're doing that alongside the infrastructure and housing that we also need to build, and we'll work across the House on that.
We'll let the front benches...
Fucking rubbish. What a waste of everyone's fucking time. Keir Starmer's a maltoid. Right! Talking of maltoids, we have this next gammon-faced twat. Piers Mother Cunting Morgan hosting a conversation between one good person and one Alan Dershowitz.
Joining me in our Census studio is Mehdi Hasan, a founder and editor-in-chief at Zeteo, and from the United States, attorney and author of the new book, The Preventative State.
Wow, when you say attorney, are you going to mention who he was attorney for at any point? Anyone you want to mention that he was an attorney for Jeffrey Epstein, as well as being a consultant for O.J. Simpson and Harvey Weinstein and Donald Trump. So you know he's a fan of a murderer or a rapist whenever he sees one. Let's just say this man couldn't be more on the Epstein flight logs if he tried. And he did, because he was very much on the Epstein flight logs. Just saying. An evil human being. So naturally, being a fan of rapists, he's supporting Israel. Naturally.
Preventive State, I'm sorry, Alan Dershowitz. Alan, welcome to you in the United States. Devastating article in the New York Times about Benjamin Netanyahu and his motivation for continuing the war in Gaza, the influence of these far-right headbangers, as many see them, Smotrich and Ben-Gvir, the wider agenda, which has been to expand the settlements in the West Bank and to take control of Gaza, and that Netanyahu is ultimately putting his own self-interest before the interests of Israel. What is your response to it? I mean, I presume you read it, but what's your response?
Well, first we have to remember who invented Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, and that was the Palestinian leaders. By rejecting the Clinton-Barak offer in 2001 and the Olmert offer in 2007, which would have given the Palestinians a complete state on the West Bank and in the Gaza, 96% of the West Bank, 4% of Israel. They turned it down, and as a result of that, they encouraged the development of the right wing in Israel. I have no brief at all for Ben-Gvir and Smotrich. I've met them both. I don't like them. I think they are undercutting peace, but they don't speak for Israelis. The Israelis...
They are the government, so to some extent they do. They were elected to the Knesset, so they do represent some element of Israeli society. I don't know what their particular popularity is in Israel, but the idea that they don't represent Israel whatsoever is fundamentally dishonest. No government completely represents all of the people of its country, but to say that an elected representative government doesn't represent the people in any respect is silly. Come on now.
Want peace. The Israelis wanted a two-state solution in 2001. Bill Clinton said over and over again they could...
Another rapist. He does love a rapist. Is there a rapist he doesn't like? Is there a rapist he hasn't met that he wouldn't get on with? he's all about the rape.
Could have had it. And once you turn down a two-state solution the way they did in 2001, don't expect you'll be offered it again. You're going to move a country away from peace if you reject it. And then if you do, October 7th, you're going to strengthen the right wing. It's just inevitable. And so the large fault for why the Israelis have moved to electing people like Smotrich and Ben-Gvir lies completely with Hamas and the Palestinian leaders. I'm not saying the Palestinian people deserve this, but they certainly...
You are kind of saying that. You fucking ghoul. Please hurry up and die.
Certainly have to look at their own leadership and say, my God, if we had accepted two states in 1948, 1967, and 2000, 2001, 2007, look where we would be today instead of where they are.
Oh yeah, because those other countries on Israel's border have done really well, haven't they? It's not like Israel constantly does land grabs all the fucking time. No, I'm sure Israel would definitely have respected those boundaries. Yeah, 100%. No, I definitely believe that.
Mehdi, your response?
Israelis have no agency, apparently, according to Alan Dershowitz. Everything is the fault of the Palestinians. So many falsehoods in there. There was no Palestinian state offered in 1967. That's when Israel began its illegal occupation of the West Bank and Gaza. And even if we buy this nonsense that Clinton and Barack
How about
offered...
1948?
I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking. Can I
1948?
say my point? You've said all your falsehoods. Now I'm going to debunk them. You said that...
You'll notice this. Zionists do love interrupting. They don't like having their opposition be given the right to speak back. You know? Alan Morton. Is his middle name Morton? Okay. Alan Morton Dershowitz. Born 1938. How are you still alive, my man? 86 years of age. Good God. Yeah, well, exactly why can't they shut the fuck up? It's a good question. Good night, Leckers. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy sleep / whatever you're up to. Yeah, no. Who's got the Discord link? Probably Wayward Historian, I would think. I could go and find it, but I can't be bothered. I'm trying to do a show.
Clinton and Barack offered a state. Not true. At Camp David, both sides turned down the deal.
He is literally older than Israel. Yes, he is literally older than Israel. Yes, that is actually true.
Shlomo Ben-Ami, who was the foreign minister, said, I wouldn't have taken that deal at Camp David, the Israeli foreign minister. Then Taba came along, and Taba fell apart because Barack went to the polls and lost the elections. Ehud Barak lost the elections. He was a lame duck prime minister. Sharon came in. So you can rewrite history all you want. No one believes that's the case.
And that's Ariel Sharon, who was elected even though he was involved in the Sabra and Shatila massacres. Because, you know, he's a monster.
But even if you were telling the truth, which you're not, let's talk about today. Benjamin Netanyahu brags that he's blocked a two-state solution. The guy who you volunteered to be a lawyer for in front of the International Criminal Court, wanted war crime suspect, has openly bragged that I blocked a two-state solution. His words, I blocked a two-state solution. So you can rewrite history all you want. The present day is proof that you're talking nonsense. This Israeli government, this far-right government, has no interest in peace with the Palestinians, only interested in ethnic cleansing. And the best part of listening to you speak about agency, everything you said could be said about Hamas and the Palestinians. The Palestinians would say Hamas is a result of Israelis not giving us our freedom. Hamas is a result of Israelis besieging and boycotting Gaza for decades on end. Hamas is a result of Israeli leadership coming and killing our leaders and imprisoning our leaders. So the same arguments you use to defend genocidal fascists in the Israeli government could be used to defend Hamas.
And
he's so good. Mehdi Hasan, honestly, if anyone knows Mehdi, tell him he can use me like a rag doll. Honestly, all of my holes, every part of me is open to him. He's so good.
The point I would make, Alan, and you can respond to what Mehdi just said in a moment, but the point I would make about Netanyahu, bringing it back to him, is that he didn't have to form a government with Smotrich and Ben-Gvir. He knew what they were like. He knew they were far more to
Well, no, he did, because those were the only people that really wanted to work with him, and that was the only chance he had of staying out of jail. And that's all that Benjamin Netanyahu cares about, really.
Right, and he instinctively...
Ultimately, he's actually doing more long-term damage to Zionism. Honestly, we will see within the next 20 years, I think, a significant reduction of the Zionist influence in Western countries because of what's happening now. Benjamin Netanyahu is damaging Zionism long term because they were able to do their death by 1,000 cuts strategy very effectively whilst keeping control of the sort of narrative in the Western media, which is what they require in order to keep America and Britain and Germany and France on side. Whereas now that's basically dead. It's basically over at that point, right? And so as those older people who are very pro-Israel move out of the voting bloc and very anti-Israel, anti-IDF, pro-Palestinian people become a larger part of it, I think you'll start to see a real fucking change in policy. Partly because of the selfishness of Benjamin Netanyahu putting his own freedom above the larger political cause for which he purportedly stands. Or maybe I'm just being rose-tinted glasses. I don't know. Is Mehdi Hasan a Brummy? Didn't know that. He doesn't sound like one. Mind you, I don't sound much like one, I suppose.
He was. I don't believe he felt that they represented the wishes of the Israeli people, but I think he also is power mad, and I think that he realised the only way he could get power back was if he did a deal with the devil in this case being Smotrich and Ben-Gvir. And the interesting thing now...
But Benjamin Netanyahu is the devil. They're just like worse versions of the devil. But he's not the devil. They're all fucking devils. I can smell the sulphur from here.
Politically, is whether he is building up, and it's slow momentum, but there's a bit of momentum from where he was, but whether Likud could now win an election without these far-right guys. So my question for you would be, I don't think we should give Netanyahu a pass, because he got into bed with these guys very willingly. It was his way of getting power.
And staying out of prison.
In other words, you say Netanyahu is a politician in addition to being a statesman. He wanted to win the election because he...
Yeah, Machiavelli was also just a political theorist. Amazing. You have about as strong a Brummie accent as one of my favourite Brummie musicians, Dave Hunt of Anal Nathtrach. I don't know who the person is or the band, but thank you. Have you watched Albanese coming on Zateo to talk about the ties between the genocide and American big tech? I have not, Lord Fritos, but I can only imagine she is definitely going to fall out of a window very soon. Sorry, she's going to commit suicide very soon.
He thought winning the election would be best for Israel, best for his people, and best for world peace. And so he was prepared to make the kinds of compromises.
Best for world peace. Is there a neighbouring country he hasn't bombed in the last month? What the fuck is wrong with you? He's bombed everyone. Now, technically, this was from a day ago or 2 days ago. So, like, this was before he bombed Damascus. Again. Like, come on. For world peace. Shut the fuck up.
That every coalition government makes. I was actually in Israel when he was forming his government, and I met with Smotrich, I met with Ben-Gvir. I urged Netanyahu not to include them in the coalition, but he wouldn't have been prime minister. Who knows what would have happened if that hadn't happened. But remember as well, too, you talk
about some other Zionist prick would have done virtually the same thing. Whoa.
About that the Palestinians were never offered a state. The UN offered.
They have kind of bombed Egypt. They bombed the border crossing, and I think a few of those explosives did definitely go into Egyptian territory. Yeah. So, like, that one's a bit of a kind of technicality one, but basically, yeah, they did bomb Egypt, kind of.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Victory is ours.
For them a state in 1948, 1947, the Peer Commission, 1938. The Palestinians...
No, in 1948 they stole lots of land from Palestine. That's what happened there.
don't know how to take yes for an answer. And Bill Clinton put it very well. He said Hamas, and he spoke really about the Palestinians, don't want a state. They want there not to be a Jewish state. Palestinian.
I don't want there to be any religious state. What's your obsession with the religion there, my man?
The focus on the Palestinians, as distinguished from focused on many other groups in the world that deserve statehood, the focus on Palestinianism is destruction. Bill Clinton says Hamas does not want a state. It just wants to kill Jews and kill Israelis. Now, how do we move forward?
Yeah, but Bill Clinton also said that Monica Lewinsky didn't suck his cock. So, like, do I give a fuck about the veracity of his statements? No, not really. No, I don't trust him.
Forward from this. What we move forward from this is Hamas accepts the Israeli peace offer, which they have now rejected. Let's get the hostages back. Let's make peace. Let's have a process which could conceivably lead to a two-state solution. Look, I don't blame Netanyahu for saying you can't have a two-state solution now. You can't have a state where on its border you have...
Mate, he's literally said you can't have one ever. His government have consistently said they're never going to accept that. So stop lying.
Hamas running Gaza, where they've sworn to do October 7th again and again and again and again and again. You can't have that kind of a state. So we...
Okay, but you've been... The Israeli government have been doing an October the 7th every day for like 18 months now. You're the terrorists. I want you to know that.
We all hope the goal is a two-state solution. The goal is to get rid of Ben Gvir and Smotrich, but the Palestinians have to come to the bargaining table legitimately, end the war, return the hostages, and then we can move forward.
Okay, before I let Mehdi respond to that, and he will, my response to that would be, for the same reason that you can't let Hamas have power going forward because they are wedded to the destruction of Israel, in the same way, you could argue now, I think pretty clearly, that the Israeli government, the current one, is wedded to the total destruction of Gaza. And in fact, in Smotrich, out of his own mouth came a plan to cleanse the strip completely of Palestinians. So,
True, but I mean, Donald Trump also said that shit, and you like him. So, like, what's the deal here, Gammon? What's happening, bro? Huh?
There's not much difference here in terms of the intent or rhetoric, certainly from people like Smotrich.
There
And
is
then it comes down
difference.
to, well, what influence do they have? And everyone tries to downplay it, but the New York Times makes it crystal clear that big deals have been on the table and Smotrich has refused to countenance them and has threatened to bring down the government if it goes ahead.
Well, there is a big difference between Hamas, which murders innocent people and babies and children, and Israel, which defends itself against...
No, the IDF exclusively seemingly attacks, like, civilian targets. I'm sorry, but when you've got TikToks of the soldiers dancing in the underwear of the women they've just killed, or sleeping in the cot of the children they've just killed, you don't get to have, like, we're just defending ourselves. Oh, what a skeezy fucking bastard, man. Like, you have to be a dishonest fuck to be a Zionist. You just do. You just do. Also, that is a mood. That is a mood, Mehdi.
Such actions. Now,
but Israel is killing so many...
Smotrich,
yeah, but Alan, we've had this conversation. Israel is losing... I know, but Israel's losing people like me, right, and many...
Look, I, Piers Morgan, am a massive piece of shit. I want to support you doing small genocide. It's just you're too obvious with it. You're not hiding your power level right now, okay? Can you just tone it down a bit so that I can go back to pretending you're not doing a genocide, yeah? Yeah? Cool. I, Piers Morgan, am awesome. I'm a good person.
Like me, who had a lot of support for Israel's right to defend itself,
I agree with that.
because of the sheer volume of innocent children in particular that are being slaughtered on a daily basis. Now, you know, it's an arguable point
it doesn't
whether
even
everything
compare.
the IDF is doing is intentional or not. They say none of it's intentional, but they are killing a staggering number of children in the process of going after
let's
Hamas.
Just remember one. Let's just remember one point. One of the greatest days in American history is June 6, 1944, the greatest generation. They killed so many more civilians in the process of ending Nazism. Another great day was VJ Day. I was old enough to remember it. They killed 100,000 or more civilians. Israel is doing far, far less.
Yeah, and that was a war crime too. What the fuck? Yeah. They unnecessarily dropped 2 massive nuclear bombs on civilian areas. And not even because that was how the war was going to end, but because the Russians were planning to get involved and they didn't want to have to carve up Japan with Russia. It was literally the Soviet Union joining that made them essentially capitulate. It was totally unnecessary. It was a massive war crime. Fact. But you know, you saying, oh, see, we're acting just like that previous administration that did the war crimes that killed hundreds of thousands of people. Hasbara is like a very, very strong drug, man.
Less than the United States and Great Britain did. When your people are endangered, when your children are murdered and your women are raped, then you do engage in action.
Israel has had riots to free rapists. They have discussed in the Knesset the degree to which it's absolutely fine to rape Palestinian prisoners. We have literally seen IDF soldiers raping Palestinian inmates. There is a very powerful piece of footage. You can go and search it out. I'm not going to watch it on stream, for obvious reasons, of a group of IDF soldiers forming a physical barricade between themselves and a camera that they know is there to create a physical barrier with shields, with riot shields, so that 2 other IDF soldiers can rape a woman behind that shield. It's an incredibly moving, grotesque piece of footage. Which you may want to go and search out for yourself. You may not want to. Absolutely fine, I understand. But the idea that by comparison, very small number of rapes that took place on November 7th is in any way like the reason or the acceptable excuse that you're going to use now is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. The Israeli government and the Israeli society is pro-rape. As long as it's rape of not Jewish people, of course. As long as it's Palestinians being raped, not a problem. That is but essentially the official policy of the Israeli government.
And particularly, remember, in England...
I have not tested, but if you link it, I might have a look tomorrow.
And in the United States, the enemy wasn't hiding among civilians, whereas Hamas brags about the fact that its civilians are martyrs. We want them to die.
Hang on a minute. If the Nazis weren't holding among civilians, why did we bomb German cities? What are you talking about? You're just being an ahistorical prick right now. Of course they hid in civilian areas. What are you talking about? In fact, they mostly didn't even hide. They were just in civilian areas. The fuck are you talking about?
The goal, the tactic of Hamas is let's get Israel to kill as many civilians as possible, 50,000, 60,000, and then we can get Piers Morgan.
Okay, but like, you don't have to kill them. Like the IDF, like, oh, we don't want to kill them, but Hamas are making us kill them. It's the domestic abusers argument. Look at what you're making me do here. You could just not kill those people. That is an option. Have you considered that? Have you considered the possibility of not killing these innocent people? God, you're a fucking evil bastard, man.
To turn against them. That's their goal. They are targeting you, and you're accepting it because that's their goal. And I don't blame you. Good people support Hamas, or at least oppose Israel, because they don't understand
I don't support
that
Hamas.
all these deaths are the result. No, I'm not saying that.
No, he is saying that. He's a piece of shit. Like, literally, the guy who made the "Do you condemn Hamas" thing, his meme, for like a year. And he's now supporting Hamas because any criticism of Israel is too much. You're like, you know how they'll say, like, oh, you can criticize Israel, but this is too much. Show me a situation in which a Zionist would ever accept any criticism of Israel in any way. They will never accept even the slightest criticism. Any criticism at all is, you support Hamas. It's fucking embarrassing to see. God almighty.
That I say good people do. Some people do. The people who march in New York or oppose Israel because they don't fully understand the tactic of Hamas to kill as many.
No, I understand that. Okay, I want to go to Mehdi. I want to go to Mehdi. Okay. Alan, I fully understand the tactic of Hamas. What I don't understand.
No, I understand.
What I don't understand are the current tactics of the Israeli government, which.
Are you that stupid? You don't understand what the Israeli government are doing? Really? You shouldn't be a journalist because you don't. Your dissection of the material in front of you is subpar. I'll leave it there.
Seem to be not a lot better. Mehdi, your response.
I mean, I don't know what to respond to. So much was said, and so much nonsense there was said about violence and killings by someone, as I say, who's volunteered to defend Netanyahu at the International Criminal Court, where he's been indicted with the former Israeli defense minister for war crimes.
I'm proud of that.
And crimes against humanity. Of course you're
Yeah, because you're proud of defending fucking Epstein as well, I imagine.
Proud of it because you don't value Palestinian life. Let's just deal with some things you said. Number one, you talked about deals and negotiations. Gershon Baskin, who is the only Israeli negotiator to have ever successfully negotiated with Hamas, keeps saying, he said it just the other day, go check his Twitter feed, that he has communications from Hamas saying, we have offered the Israeli government a full ceasefire. We will leave government. We will not govern Gaza. We will return all the hostages in return for a permanent ceasefire. Israel doesn't want a permanent ceasefire because Smotrich and others want 60 days and then they go back to the killing when the hostages are released. He's offered a permanent end to the war. Israel doesn't want a permanent end to the war. That's what Baskin is saying. Secondly, you talk about killing of kids.
I do. I would like that.
You talk about killing of kids. I mean, these...
Yeah, but you're not in the Israeli government, so your opinion of this is frankly rather worthless, Mr. Dershowitz.
Israeli military does intentionally kill children.
Deliberate.
Let's read 972. Israeli publication interviewed 7 Israeli soldiers and officers, peers who returned from Gaza. Just last week, in several cases, the soldier said, Israeli troops deliberately targeted children. There was a boy who entered the zone. He didn't do anything. Other soldiers claimed to have seen him standing, talking to people. That's it.
And
they dropped a grenade from a drone. In another incident, soldiers tried to kill a child riding a bicycle.
And they get prosecuted
so
for
they have not been prosecuted. Alan, don't lie on television where people can fact
they
you.
have
None of them have been
Yes, they
prosecuted.
have been.
Which
I
soldier?
know they have been.
Which soldier was
Yes, they have
prosecuted
been.
for dropping a grenade on a child?
There are dozens
You're lying
of them who,
on national TV. Piers Morgan can come back on the next episode and tell everyone that you're not telling the truth.
Dozens of them have been prosecuted.
Not a single Israeli soldier has been prosecuted for deliberately killing a Palestinian child. That is a lie. A demonstrable lie. Everyone watching right now.
I'm sorry, you can't say things. Hang on. Just to be clear, Alan, what Mehdi is saying is that no Israeli soldier has been prosecuted for deliberately killing a Palestinian child since this war began. Is your information different to that?
Absolutely different. I know.
Okay, give me some names then.
For a fact, because I was involved in the negotiations with the International Criminal Court, and I arranged for Khan to come to Israel and see the evidence of what has been done, how people have been prosecuted, how the Israeli legal system has been, responsive. So I have all the data and all the information.
Name them. Come back on this show and name those soldiers.
It's true that they've been prosecuted.
Come back on this show, Alan, and name those soldiers. I challenge you. Now, I'll finish my point. You interrupted me. Hold on. You interrupted me. I never interrupted you. You've interrupted me twice now on this show.
I didn't interrupt.
Well, you have consistently interrupted him, actually. But I'm going to guess that Alan Dershowitz will not come back on this show and reveal the list of names. Just like his good friend Donald Trump will not release a certain other list of names that he may or may not be on. Who knows?
You did actually. You interrupted to make false claims.
I did ask Alan a question.
Well, let me finish my point. Actually, my second point, Piers, was to you. I dealt with the Gershon Baskin and the deliberate killing of kids. They just killed 6 kids queuing up for water.
I was about to talk about
yesterday. They killed 9 kids queuing up for nutritional supplements last week. Stop interrupting, Alan. Everyone can see you do it.
And it's under investigation.
It's an accident. It's just an accident. We just keep on constantly having the same accident over and over and over. But it's just an accident. So it's fine, actually. It's not a deliberate policy. It's not genocide. It's not mass slaughter of children and starving peoples. No. It's just an accident, yo. How do you live with yourself? Seriously, Alan, how do you live with yourself? How do you not just look... When you look into the mirror, how do you not smash your face into the glass? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Interrupting, Alan, otherwise I'll do it to you and you really won't like it. Piers, let me make my point to you that I'm trying to make. You mentioned the New York Times. I'm glad you've mentioned the New York Times several times. The New York Times piece, the long piece, has a lot in there. 2 important points for you, Piers. I've been coming on this show for over a year talking to you about Gaza. Last April and July, the New York Times reports that Netanyahu's own generals told him, there's no military strategy left. There's nothing more we can do. Stop this war. Netanyahu overrode them. So when I was on this show and you were telling me, of course, they're just defending themselves. What else should they be doing? At that time, when I was on this show, Piers, generals were telling Netanyahu there's no war left to be had. They also make it very clear in this piece that the government would have fallen apart had Netanyahu not prolonged the war because he wanted to avoid prosecution. And I'm sorry
So you were wrong then, Piers. You were wrong. Please, Piers, have the humility to say that you were wrong. You got this wrong. You fucked up. There's something inside me that so desperately wants the best of people, even bad people like Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan is a fucking bad person, be under no illusions. I want them to act in good ways. I think they're capable of acting in good ways. Even the biggest monster must have some redeeming something to them. And I'm just. I know I'm hoping above hope. I know it's absurd over optimism on my part, but I'm hoping, desperately hoping now, that Piers Morgan will just say, yeah, no, I fucked up. Yeah, my bad. I'll take that into account next time. When Israel starts making stupid fucking claims, I'll take that into account, because they were clearly lying to us. Fingers crossed, right? You never know. I mean, we will know in a second. But, yeah.
We needed the New York Times to say that, because I was saying that on this show to you, Piers. Many people were saying that this war is about Netanyahu trying to avoid prison. This is about Netanyahu trying to avoid prison. I know Alan is an expert on criminals. He's defended some of the worst criminals in the world.
Lawyers do defend criminals.
Well, he defends some of the worst people. Epstein, Netanyahu.
Yeah, but lawyers...
No one forced him to defend these people.
Some of the best
Piers, no one forced him to go volunteer to defend Benjamin Netanyahu.
You can't make aspersions against lawyers.
I can actually. I can say you don't need... You don't need to...
It's not very credible to do that.
Really?
Lawyers do their job.
Hold on, Piers. Somebody forced Alan Dershowitz to defend Netanyahu. He said he's proud to do it. No one forced him to do it.
Which criminal should he defend?
I'm proud to do it.
You're proud to defend Benjamin Netanyahu.
He's a criminal lawyer.
You're proud to defend Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein. You defend the worst.
He mentioned Epstein. He said it. 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 I'm now hoping. Now, Piers Morgan isn't going to accept anything. He's a prick, obviously. But I'm now hoping Alan Dershowitz fucking melts down because Epstein's been mentioned. The name has been dropped like the Mento into the Coca-Cola bottle. I'm now hoping for a Dershowitz explosion. Come on now, let's go.
Well, I was proud.
Okay.
Yes. And I was proud to defend Bill Clinton, and I was proud to defend Ted Kennedy. I've defended people on all sides.
You defended a guy who was a rapist, and Ted Kennedy, who probably maybe killed that girl in the car crash that time and gonna get away with it. What the fuck? Those are the good people. Those are the people you want us to think were brilliant, fucking fantastic, lovely people. Those are your good clients, are they? Those are your morally upstanding clients. God, you're actually a fucking demon. You're actually a demon. Look, your best client got away with killing a girl in a car crash in the 60s. And then went on to become a senator, obviously. Fucking hell. Oh. Holy shit. He's a real bastard, man.
Also defended Palestinians who were charged with offenses in Israel. I've also defended Palestinian students at Harvard.
Wow, so some Palestinians do get a trial. Interesting.
Who wanted to put up a Palestinian flag at Harvard.
Netanyahu's corruption trial? I think you've only defended his war crimes.
But you know what, Mehdi? I do think it's a very lame.
No, I've been involved in his corruption trial too.
It's a very. I've always felt a lot of people try this with Alan Dershowitz
because
there are lots of things you can argue with Alan about what he believes. Yeah. But when people go ad hominem about him being a lawyer defending bad...
It's not ad hominem. He chooses his clients, and he chooses consistently only evil bastards. Like, the worst. Again, we'll run through them for a second, shall we? We'll run through them. The cavalcade. The Hollywood walk of shame, if you will, right? O.J. Simpson. Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump. Harvey Weinstein, Bill Clinton, like just the worst people in the fucking world. Benjamin Netanyahu, obviously. Like, yeah, everyone deserves a lawyer, but when one particular person always chooses just evil people to represent, kinda does seem a little bit, you know. Like maybe he's sort of into that, you know?
Well, I'm going to respond now since most
criminal lawyers...
Did he represent Bill Cosby? I don't remember that. Did that happen? I don't know.
Ever met. At some stage defend pretty
Piers,
dodgy
I want
people.
You, Piers, look
it's
at that.
their job, literally their job.
We're looking at our cameras. Look at your camera and say honestly that you would say to Saddam Hussein's law or Slobodan Milosevic's law or Vladimir Putin's law, you wouldn't say a word about people who choose in the West to go defend those people? Yes, you would. It's just you give Netanyahu a pass. I see him in the same league as Saddam Hussein, Vladimir Putin, Slobodan Milosevic. If a Westerner chooses to go defend these people, no one forces.
Well, I mean, yes and no. At least Milosevic did end up at The Hague. I suspect Netanyahu won't.
Him to, I'm going to question their moral
Do they
judgment.
have a right to defend?
Of course they have a right to a defence.
Then they should have
but
a
no
right.
one forced.
Well, hang on. Then they should have a right to have a lawyer defending them.
Of course.
You understand that?
Understood.
That's how the legal system works.
So if a
That's
British...
how justice
Hold
works.
on, Piers. If a British lawyer volunteered to go defend Putin, you wouldn't cast any moral aspersions on them. Don't lie, Piers. You know you would.
So just to be clear, who should Alan be defending? Give me some criminal names.
Some non-rapists? Maybe? Just one non-rapist would be good, I think. Well, actually, we don't know that O.J. Simpson raped anyone. He definitely did murder 2 people, though. And I can say that now, he's dead, who cares? Like, come on. Come on now. Let's not be fucking silly.
People in New York, people wherever he lives.
Which criminals?
Why does he have to go defend Netanyahu?
Give me some names.
Hold on. Why does he have to go defend Netanyahu?
I do have...
I think it's a crazy
attack. I
look at vile people and I wonder, why would you volunteer to go defend that person?
Because they're lawyers. Anyway, let's move on to the more substantive part of this. So, I mean, Alan, this incident that Mehdi referenced, the strike on a water distribution point.
He represented Cosby at his appeals. Oh, for God's sake. So literally, okay, so add Cosby into it then. So again, if he could just choose one non-rapist / double murderer to represent, just one person who wasn't a big fucking rapist, right? He'd have a point, but he doesn't. It's just rapists, murderers, war criminals.
at a Gaza refugee camp that killed 10 people, including 6 children,
Terrible.
wounded 17 more. The IDF said that
I believe Alan Dershowitz when he says he thinks that's terrible. Honest, I do.
intended to hit an Islamic Jihad militant, but a technical error caused the missile to miss its target.
Technical error.
But, you know, having technical errors that wipe out 6 kids in a refugee camp at this stage of this war.
Terrible.
And these stories are coming every day.
Terrible.
Now,
He thinks it's
how does
terrible.
this end?
War is hell, and these kinds of accidents happen.
Well, maybe you should tell your client, Benjamin Netanyahu, to stop doing all the fucking war then. Maybe as his advisor, you should say, legally speaking, you doing these aggressive foreign wars, it's a little bit, it's a bit iffy. I'm going to have a difficult one on the stand with this. So, like, just tone it down a bit, yeah? Just maybe stop doing so many war crimes. Ooh. You are his legal counsel, after all.
All the time. Many Israelis have been killed by Israeli-friendly fire. Many, including a relative of mine who was killed by friendly fire. Accidents happen. Israelis immediately announced that they would investigate and
investigate themselves and find out that it was just an accident, bro. So it's fine. Cool.
if warranted, it might have been a pure accident, but if warranted, there'll be prosecution.
No,
Israel
there
prosecutes
won't.
its own criminals, and it does it all the time. And of course, Hamas rewards them. The Palestinian Authority pays terrorists to kill, pay for...
Well, I presume IDF soldiers get paid, so yeah. Like the Israeli government's doing it too.
Slay. There's an enormous difference. The United States government had many cases of accidental killings during every war we fought. And the difference between a democracy...
Wow, a lot of wars you've been fighting there, yeah.
And a tyranny is that in a democracy you investigate. And you investigate...
Alan, before I go back to Mehdi, just on a profound level, I ask you this question. In what way is it remotely proportionate that Israel has now killed anything between 70 and 100,000 people on the Palestinian side, of which, you know, let's say a quarter, maybe a third are Hamas terrorists? We don't know. But
it's nowhere near that, man. But let's go with it. Who cares?
Let's say that is the proportion of that number that have been killed, which means maybe 60,000 civilians have been killed. In what way is that remotely proportionate to an attack that killed 1,200 people, of which I think 800 were civilians, and wounded many more, and kidnapped 250? It's so disproportionate now. But what concerns me about this, if I'm an Israel...
Wow. So to answer the question from all those many months ago of the Egyptian comedian guy whose name has totally escaped my fucking mind. So annoying. Anyway, and he said, what was it? What's the ratio of Israeli lives to sons of bitches? What's the ratio? Apparently, we've now reached the Piers Morgan event horizon on that. Apparently, we are now beyond the threshold. We now know the ratio of Israeli lives to sons of bitches. Bassem Youssef, thank you very much. We have now reached the sons of bitches ratio. And I, for one, thought it would be a lot earlier, but Piers Morgan is a prick, so, you know. I'm glad we got there in the end, I suppose. I'm glad he's finally reached the point where he's like, actually, I'm not sure now. I think you've killed a few too many brown people. I was okay when it was just 20,000, but now it's 60,000, and that's too much. Cool. Very cool person you are, Piers.
Israeli, a moderate Israeli, so not a far-right Israeli or an extremist or any of these things. I'm just an average Israeli citizen watching what my government is doing in Gaza now and seeing the fury.
Oh, shit. I forgot we had the Bassem Youssef emote, the shocked emote. Yeah. Oh, that's a dope one. Look at his fucking face. God, he's an emotive motherfucker, isn't he? Absolutely love him.
That is building around the world to this daily slaughter. You know, this is terrible for Israel.
Sorry, I just nearly choked on the fucking Jim speak with an absolute fucking belter of a line. I just nearly choked as I was trying to swallow. I had to suppress a laugh, otherwise I might have actually drowned. Piers heard that the tide was turning, brackets, on a kid's voicemail. Just round of applause there, my man. That is fucking beautiful. Jesus, it nearly killed me. Damn nearly killed me, but it was fucking beautiful. Thank you. Much love.
It's terrible for Israel's reputation. I think it's dangerous.
I agree.
It's dangerous for Jewish people. I think that the rising tide of anti-Semitism was despicable when it happened in the aftermath of October the 7th. It highlighted a cancer in the world, that people would react to that attack by being openly anti-Semitic towards Jewish people. But now a lot of that anti-Semitism, I'm sure, is being fueled by what is happening in Gaza. And I think, so I feel for Jewish people too. So I just, to me, none of this makes any sense now. You agree?
The left in Israel is just 3 IDF soldiers watching ContraPoints in their bulldozers. Yeah. Basically, yeah. It's a grim thing to think about. It's basically true. Oh, no.
Well, of course it doesn't make... Yes, and that's why Hamas is winning. Hamas is succeeding. Hamas set out to turn the world against Israel. And they realized that if they murdered 1,200 people, kidnapped people, there would be a reaction. And then they went further, and they hid themselves.
And we just had to kill all of those people. They made us do it. We don't have any agency.
I know, because I'm married to one. I tried many times, couldn't kill her. I think that Ben Shapiro is one of the smartest people who ever walked this earth. He's very, very smart. I follow him, and I believe everything he said. And when he came on your show, his solution was, and I quote, his solution was that the solution for this is for Israel to annex Gaza and to kill as many sons of as possible to make sure that this will never happen again. And anyone who called for a ceasefire will be a terrorist sympathizer. So God forbid, I don't want to be labeled as a terrorist sympathizer. So my question to Ben Shapiro is, how many more sons of do we need to kill so Ben Shapiro is happy?
Well, frankly, I don't believe in proportionate response to terrorism. I believe that the way that you stop terrorism is with wildly disproportionate response.
Honestly, Ben Shapiro is just the most worthless human being who's ever lived. Like, for reals. He was arguing that people shouldn't retire. They shouldn't be allowed to retire. Retirement shouldn't exist. A man who's never done a day's work in his life. Cool.
Beneath mosques and schools, and they generated the kind of killing that results in good people like you changing your mind about Israel. That's Hamas's strategy. Hamas is winning. Hamas prevailed on
my
October
point is
7th,
Israel is
and
losing.
It's going to repeat it over and over again.
I think Israel is losing in the court of public opinion. There are
That's
many
my point. I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's my point.
But then the strategy
Hamas
is losing.
Winning. Israel. Well, what's the alternative? The alternative is to let. No, of course, let's stop the war, and Israel has offered to do it just today.
Oh, yeah, Israel has stopped doing it. Absolutely. No, we believe you, Alan.
That's not true. Israel put an offer on the table that has been rejected. The point that I want to make, let me just finish my point. The point I want to make is Hamas had a strategy. We know there are captured documents that say it. That is, get Israel to kill as many Palestinians.
Okay, so stop doing that then. Stop doing the thing that you know is the strategy of your enemy. Why are you doing that then? Why are you doing the thing that you know your enemy wants you to do? Especially when that thing is genocide.
Civilians as possible, and it will turn Piers Morgan against Israel because he's a good and decent person, and the good and decent.
Oh God! I mean, I can't think of a bigger indictment than that. Okay, I can't think of a bigger. I'm basically done for the night now. I can't think of a bigger indictment of how much of a bag of donkey shit Alan Dershowitz is. Okay, not him defending Epstein or Bill Cosby or fucking Bill Clinton or any of them, right? When he says Piers Morgan is a good and moral man. That sums him up perfectly. I can't think of a bigger insult to the morality of Alan Dershowitz than the thing he just said. Anyone who thinks Piers Morgan is anything other than like shit that you have to scrape from the bottom of your shoe, their opinion can be disqualified. Their opinion can be ignored. And that is where I shall return Mr. Dershowitz back into the box of being ignored. Because we are done for the evening, friends. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your support, for viewing, for donating, for loving and sharing that love with me. I will be back presumably tomorrow. I would certainly think so. My left eye is going, so I'll send you over there on the YouTubes. Ta-ta. Who is going on the Twitch machine? Hasan Arby is going, but I don't think he needs viewership. Looks Progressive. We'll go over to Looks Progressive because she's a good person. Go and say hello to her, and yeah, enjoy that content. And I'll be back. Like I say, I'll be back probably tomorrow, as always, and forever. Free Palestine. No passing around.
Okay, let me